All right, y'all. We back with another episode of King Shed Talk. Happy Thursday to everybody. Hope everybody's been having a wonderful week. I'm giving you exactly what you asked for tonight. We have Mark James St. Patrick back in the building. We have Miss Kia D back in the building, and none other than Southside Dre back in the building. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
What's jumping, man?
Outstanding.
Uh
What's
oh.
jumping, man?
Mark already starting off with an
Right,
early
he's
start.
ready. He's ready to party.
Well, as y'all can see, the topic for the night is hot topics. Now, I chose hot topics for this particular panel because I know everybody has their own individual take on things. Everyone brings something to the table that people tend to like to hear about and see. So we're gonna go over some things that have been in the news. Some of it is kind of lukewarm because it's been in the news for at least a month or so, and some of it is very fresh. I definitely want you guys on wisdom. If you have anything that you would like to hear from the panel, just message me. Those watching on Facebook and YouTube, you can do the same. And I'm sure these ladies and gentlemen will not mind answering your questions or speaking on whatever it is that you want us to speak on. Now, we're going to start these hot topics off with one of the hottest topics right now, and that's Miss Jackie O perishing after her surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you guys know about that story, or is
I
it
I
new?
do.
I do.
I,
Now,
I haven't. I haven't. I know about it. I mean, I've heard about it. I didn't go into it too deep, but yeah, I know. So
yeah, I didn't go real deep in it, but
yeah,
I did hear, excuse me, that she had a mommy makeover.
yeah.
Now, for anyone that knows what a mommy makeover is please explain it to me because I don't know what a mommy
I know
makeover.
what it is. So I guess I could put it in layman's terms for men, right? So
Mhm.
when we have babies, sometimes the babies kind of do things to our bodies, whether it be like stretch marks or like if you're breastfeeding and your breasts start to sag a little bit, or you have like maybe some extra skin, or sometimes when women have babies, the muscles that are attached to their stomach, like the stomach line, it breaks up and they get like it's I can't it's like it can't be repaired no matter how much exercise you do. um you can have a six pack or all kinds of muscles under there, but it's still you have to get it reattached. So the mommy makeover basically kind of lifts puts everything like in a sense like I guess stitches everything back in place, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
that's basically what it is, like to like get rid of any like sagging skin and kind of lift everything back up.
Got you.
So in your opinion, do you think that's a little different than women that go out to get like the BBLs or
Yeah, it actually is. So and I like I'll put the I've had cosmetic at one cos well, I've had cosmetic procedures um after having a baby, not a mommy makeover. But I did like I had a breast augmentation just because I had my daughter, and when I tell y'all one titty was huge, like, the thing was like my husband, I guess he didn't care. He was like titties is titties, but
yeah?
I was like the thing was huge and it just never went back down. And I got really insecure about my body. And I guess that's more of a woman thing. It's definitely because he was like, I don't care, but I can. So I ended up going to the doctor and they were like, by the way, you have a lump. And I initially was like, get the lump out. But then it was like, okay, if we remove this lump, you're gonna be even more like kind of like lopsided. So I was like, I'm about to buy me some new titties. Fuck it. So that's what I did.
Mm.
Um, with a BBL, from my understanding, I've never had one, but it's a lot more, it's very dangerous because they're going in, it's a lot of nerve endings, I guess, and blood vessels in your butt. So, and like, I guess the way they do it, they have to get through all of that to even get to like where they're putting, because it's like liposuction and they're removing the fat and then putting it in your butt. And it sometimes it can get into your bloodstream and like clog up your arteries or something like that.
Yeah,
Right, Nikita, yeah, that's what it's called. But from my understanding, it's really dangerous. So that's only one area of the body, where the mommy makeover is like a whole body procedure. And with the BBL, they're taking fat from where, like, specific parts of your body. You have to have enough fat to even do that. And then once you do that, even the fat can go away. So you're not going to be as big. And of course, you have the swelling and all that stuff. So they're different procedures. I feel like I'm no doctor. I haven't done any like studies on how many people have died getting one procedure or the other. But from my understanding, a BBL is really, really dangerous. And I do know a lot of people do go out of the country to get it because it's cheaper. But then if you go out of the country, they don't have like the same, I guess, requirements that and standards that we have here. So I think that's a part of the danger too. So
Well, I heard those cats, a lot of them are getting it done like in the ATL in Florida now.
and putting like random stuff in their bodies, like
Yeah, let's talk about that part.
That's
Because
crazy.
let's talk about that part because and my rule of thumb is, you know, I'm definitely, and this I know it's personally, but you ain't cutting on me unless it's an emergency, period. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
anything else, you know what I mean? Because it's just there gonna be dangers involved in all of it. And I'm not tripping about a mummy makeover or whatever you want to do with yourself. But as we see, you know,
I think it's a lot different for men than it is for women.
Of course.
I mean,
I think we're our biggest critics, you know.
What's his name? There's two rappers who just had augmentation, and
I was thinking about him too. I can't remember his name, but I think he used to do scams and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think the one thing I think it's a 3-part thing. I think medically sometimes you need it. If you've ripped the abdominal muscles during a C-section or whatever, then
is that a need?
I think that's one.
Is that a need?
Exactly. Is that a need?
I don't.
Yeah.
Depends on the person. I don't.
Why is it a
Maybe
need? Why is it a
physically
need?
not a need, but mentally it might affect you.
But that's
No. I think one of the things when it comes to a woman's body,
Mhm.
when you are, let's just say in your early years, you have a baby, and now you have to have this complication all the way up into your 40s, 50s, and you're trying to keep, you know, we keep saying this, and maybe if we stop saying men are visual, then it might aid to not needing it. But if you are visual and I change the visual aesthetics of the room, then it's gonna complicate things. I mean, I think it's a need to stay competitive if that's what we're talking about. I think when men say need versus when women say need, I think for us, is it a need because it's not something that we directly would go do. If somebody clowns me for having a small Johnson, I'm not gonna go get that. But if somebody clowns a woman for being body built wrong or whatever the case may be, that ultimately starts affects the way she goes.
I mean, that sounds like the same thing though, Mark. That sounds like the same thing. Like it's gonna affect you. I think it might affect you if you got a small.
No, it ain't gonna affect me to go get no improvements on Homeboy.
Absolutely.
Is
not.
it? But
It affects somebody.
Is it not gonna affect you that way because that's not as easily done as some of these procedures?
No, you can get.
Oh, it's a thing. There are penis enlargement things. Yeah.
So what you saying? But that's what I'm saying. So if you can get it and pretty easily, and guys are getting them, then it's impacting.
No. Not a lot of guys are. It's a lot different.
We don't know for men though to get stuff like
it's
that.
A lot different getting your breast enlarged or your butt enlarged versus getting your manhood enlarged. That's functional. That we're talking.
Is any of it necessary?
I absolutely believe it's necessary.
I think it depends on your mental state, right? So if
depending on how a person feels about themselves and stuff like that.
I think that's like for me.
Well, let's define need then.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's just say this. Is Beijing and Rogaine necessary?
No.
Not at all. You know what though, Joe? You know what I just thought about? I guess it depends on who you're asking.
Right.
Because it
Yeah,
may
but-
be necessary to the person that's using it. It's not necessary to
Right.
you. I don't
But see
feel
that,
like
and that's perception. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
there are universal laws. Like, what is need? Then we can use that logic with anything that you
The
That's
just said.
need
true.
to feel loved, and the need to be appreciated, and the need to be complimented,
Mhm.
and things. The need to feel affection. When you lose your hair and you don't feel that, when you lose your body style as a woman and you don't get that compliment, then you are now in the and you are starting to get into the third law of Maslow and the need for affection. So, yes,
do we need to fix? So do we need to fix the person inside?
I think we need to fix society, because societally, you imagine how many women wear makeup, how many women are wearing lashes, hair, how many women are getting, oh man, she got a fat. I mean, if you think about what we're doing aesthetically to women, we are also contributing to the insecurity that causes it to be a need.
Now, stay right there, Mark. Now, this is what confuses me, Kill.
Okay.
And Mark made me think about it when he just said that. When he said that we are, in essence, causing this by what we glorify and things like that. Why come is it that most of the ones that's doing all of what he's talking about, women and men alike, label those types the fuck boys? And
What do you mean? Like those types
So
as far
why-
as the ones who
like the ones that are glorifying the Instagram models and chasing after all these women, tongues hanging out, da 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 da. Those tend to be the kind
But
of
the
men
problem
that
is that's
women.
kind of all of us.
I don't
No,
believe
it's not.
so.
No, it's not.
Me, I don't think
A lot of us.
I don't. So that's
Yeah.
not my definition of a fuck boy.
A whole lot. I work where I work at. I get to watch customers shop all day, and I promise you, not one brother that I have. I don't care if she got a limp. A brother gonna do like this.
Ho. So what? Say that again.
A lot of men where I work at, I catch men most of the time. I catch a lot of men just wait until she walked past to see what's behind her.
Right.
But
And
you said even if she got a limp, right?
Even if she could, she could.
so what's the problem? Where's the
problem
pressure?
is-
Where's
so
all the
here's
pressure?
thing, and I'm about to speak from my middle self.
I just
The
think
problem is that ultimately creates an insecurity or a consciousness that women shouldn't have to have, thus being more conscious of that woman gets attention versus me getting attention versus I want some of this attention to now.
You said
got
all
that.
of them
But
get the
that's
attention.
that's
You
canceling
said
each
the
other
limp.
out.
You said the limp gets attention.
No, not the limp. I'm not talking about the limp.
But you just said that it doesn't matter. The eyes are turning.
Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying is one gets more attention.
So there's the competition of the attention.
It's
Wait, I need the most attention versus
no, I want
attention.
the proper attention. But the problem is this. Here's this, and I heard my sister say it a while back. She said, in order, a lot of times good women feel that because bad women are getting attention, that good women have to become bad to get that attention.
I think I heard some women say that too.
Here's my issue. A lot of men, I'm not gonna say all because I don't like to generalize. It's not fair. But a lot of men, they say things like, I want a natural woman. Natural is my preference. Natural is this, natural is that. And then who do they cheat on a natural woman with?
The made up women.
Who literally like had all these different procedures. So I think that might be contributing.
I think that dichotomy.
But most of them
that has a dual factor.
Most of
I
them
still
aren't
think
cheating.
that they do. They are looking at those same women.
Where do you get this information? How do you know that that's who they?
I've seen it happen. What do you mean?
I've seen it in reverse too.
But most of them aren't cheating because of the BBL.
That part.
They're cheating because it's the access. They can't.
Well, I'll say another thing. I'll say the other part is because she makes me feel secure. Because she feeds my ego. She respects me. She Though, see, that's the problem with.
So why not just be with her?
Or there's just this wild.
That's
there's just this wild instinct in people to be curious or to, you know what I mean? Like it ain't really. I don't even think it has to be like uber complicated.
I can tell you one main reason why men ain't gonna be with her. Because I go to McDonald's, I ain't throwing away my kitchen.
I mean,
that's facts, like big facts too.
And if I go to Roof Chris, I ain't throwing away my kitchen. You asking a lot for a little.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just one major component. But
that was great. That was great.
Major component. But that's one piece of it. Like right. I think.
Are you willing? So y'all really willing to risk?
No.
It is a risk. If you stepping out,
not y'all.
Men, you talking about men, right?
Security.
You talking about men, right?
Anybody? Hell, it could be.
Man, you're not really risk. If here's a real thing. Here's a real statement. I'm gonna ask a question so I can show you.
Okay.
If you had a really, really good plan, this is to everybody on the panel, would you partake in lifting a bank's assets from it? If you had a really good plan.
No, because I ain't going to jail.
Okay, there you go. One. What about you, King?
No, same here.
All right, Southside.
Yeah, I would risk versus reward. If I feel like it's a good chance I'll possibly get caught, even with a good plan, yeah, I ain't going to jail. I'm too old for jail, bro.
Okay, right. And so the difference is the people who think it's a really good plan, they're not really risking anything.
Yeah, in there.
So when you're talking about somebody cheating, you're talking about somebody who has a really good solid plan in their eyes. It's foolproof. They can't get this, they can't get that. So they're not risking anything. It's a win-win.
In there, from their perspective.
If you say
I don't agree.
But because you're not a criminal.
But this goes back to the argument. It's like from each individual's perspective, these things it's
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If you were the criminal, then it's the reward is worth it, or right. you're not gonna get caught. But or if you're not a criminal,
you ain't got nothing. If you dirt poor, like if you are homeless or something, and you get this plan, it's gonna be different. So
I agree with that.
And I think the other part to it is for men, when men are gambling with $1 bills. So if she won a $7 crap game, this is $7 cap game. For a woman, if he won a $7 cap game, you got to break $100 bill. Nah, bro, I can't get into a crap game. Your 7 versus my is too much.
And you got to understand too that most people, men and women alike, will carry on that risk because their carnal mind is overpowering that risk.
I need us to be better than that. I need us to be better than that. I want us to be so much better.
That's not fair. Here we go.
That's
not even fair as society.
Why? Be better. Let's do better.
In a perfect world, yes, we all
would love for us to be better people. Like
we not better nowhere else.
There's so many different elements of being better. I mean,
we would be better if we didn't argue at people and have road rage. We would be better if we followed the speed limit. We better if we paid our bills on time. We ain't better as a society. Then we gonna turn around and say, "Hey, society, I know you're shitty over here, but when it comes to sexual discipline, I want you to all of a sudden practice something you ain't practicing nowhere else."
Yeah, and be better at and that's the thing that it's almost like the attention. And I get it, like to a certain degree, because there are. Like you said, there are risks that you're gonna take, ultimately for a lot of people. But it's like we focus on that one thing and usually what happens is people focus on the things that aren't their weaknesses when they point their finger. Mm-hmm. Like if it's not a thing for you, of course you're gonna say be better. You know what I mean? But if somebody's doing that for somebody else's weaknesses, it shifts because there are things that people can look at you and say, be better. And they're just really good at those things, whatever those weaknesses are for you. But I think we just get at a lot of attention and maybe rightfully so. But I think, we need to be better at a lot of different things. Like Mark said, I agree.
It's a lot of things we can all do better. But it's like, you can't just say, well, you can't want to be better in this one thing. Like, I'm not saying just focus on this one thing to be better at, right? Like like we said, there are plenty of things to be better at, but we have to start somewhere. Like,
so how about we do better at self-discipline, self-governing, our attitudes, being able to practice unconditional respect, unconditional kindness. Then it gets a lot easier to be better.
Extend grace. Extend grace. Like, understand that people's experiences.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Lend to who they are. So it's like that person. If you were to walk in that person's shoes, then you may make the same decision that they make, and that we're judging at the. You know what I mean? That we're putting so much judgment on. We don't walk in those people's shoes. So it's like, let's just extend grace. People are going to make mistakes, and they're not going to make the same decisions that we make. So at the end of the day, let's not just put. And I have to do that. Like, I tell myself this all the time. It's something that I have to practice. Like, become better at not looking, because it might not be my weakness. So I'm looking like, why you know what I mean? It's like, no, that's that person. That's how they are.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I think one of the easiest things to do is to catastrophize or to demonize or to label people's lives. And this is all of our first time going around this thing. If we would have had a second chance, then, blah, blah, blah. But this is our first time going around the sun. Man, it working for me. We all just when we get into whatever state of unconsciousness for eternity we are in, that's when you're gonna be like, or you're gonna be like, man, I nailed that. Yeah. I mean,
someone asked me earlier today. She said, "Are you in love with your life?" And I said, hell yeah. Like, I really like ups and downs, all of it, like all of this shit. I still wouldn't trade this life for another. So, like you said, Mark, like, this is my experience. I'm gonna have to, what I mean? I'm fucking up.
Listen, we gonna fuck up the lives.
I'm fucking up, bro.
Listen, there's a lot of stuff I do that's offbeat. Like, I told my mom, she said, why do you do that? I was like, I waited all my life to say yes to drugs. Because a lot of us still playing it safe, and I heard somebody says nobody gets out alive.
That's facts.
You playing it safe for what reason? And you're right. Some of y'all may go to heaven. Some of y'all may go to hell.
Depends on what you believe in.
Like, who knows?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna live because what I heard is you can't. There's only one dude who got a chance to come back. So you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm gonna lead this mother with a bang. That mother, he had DUIs. He was arrested. I'm not living my life. Not
try some shit.
Right.
I went to jail already. I've been handcuffed. Yeah. I'd have been to court. I'd have been to paternity. I done some of everything. So now so the other part is when I'm sitting on these panels, is like, okay, I can relate to that. Right. I could consciously hear that. I've had my own insecurity, so I could hear how like somebody would be like right now, I want the BB part. I want them to take this belly off me, but I don't need them to put it nowhere else. I can donate to somebody. But I get it.
Start doing strictly vegetables and fruits for the most part, and trying to do mine. I ain't going under the plane.
Drink a lot of water.
So here's where I can't
follow what that way to fall right off. I walked off 50 pounds after I had my daughter. Just
let me help you out. When you say be better, that's the place. I ain't trying to cheat, but I ain't trying to eat nothing. Yeah. I ain't trying to be without no meat.
Well, you can still eat your steaks and you can still eat good. Just do it.
You just got to know what works for you.
Man, right. The way I be seasoning that chicken, the way I be seasoning, I got to eat the whole 5 steaks.
I'm about to eat a whole chicken in one sitting.
Y'all remember those saying?
So good.
You remember those saying, like, it be folks, man, smoke cigarettes, all kind of shit all their life.
Yeah.
And they be the ones outlasting everybody. You know what I mean? So
yo, Dre. How old was George Burns when he passed?
Old as shit.
Like 90.
And they say that joker. They say George Burns started smoking cigars at 7 years old.
Right. That's what.
Damn.
I
Maybe
just
like
can't.
smoking.
I can't do it until
Love
I
the
get
black when you smoke.
you know,
Look
I
at
get-
the
I mean, I'm not
look.
saying I'm not telling anybody to smoke.
panel talking like
Nah,
that.
nah.
Yeah, I'm not telling anybody to smoke. I'm
We
just
telling them
saying,
to start at 7 years old.
just saying, like you can't. We don't know the number. That's
Yeah,
it.
and
Yo,
the truth is, I talked to my doctor. He says for some people you can live with it. You can smoke every day. For some people, it's a pack, and you out of here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and you know what else I learned from a doctor? They said, a doctor of science, he was saying that foods are different for us than they may be for other ethnicities. Because he was saying Caucasian people can break meats down a lot better than Black people can.
Let me tell you this.
I
Even
can't
in
get
that,
a meat,
in
though.
UK, they got different foods and ingredients. They ban the foods that
In
we
other
eat
countries,
here
yeah.
over there. I'm ready to do my own garden because,
Yeah.
but see, all of
Yeah,
this,
straight up.
I need a garden. Is that okay? I need a
Go for a car. I'm not banning.
yeah.
I'm eating what I'm gonna
Get you
eat me a
guard, my
steak
boy.
and a cheeseburger, and I'm eating all the fat foods that all the fat people eat. And I'm
Yeah.
hopefully I make it to see my daughter have babies and
There
her
you
baby.
go.
And I'm
Hey.
eating what I want. I'll just
Have
do it.
fun
I don't
with
want
the
to even
meals.
make it that far.
But-
I ain't spending no more money
Before,
on kids.
before we
Now,
before
real quick,
we go
real quick. What you saying about like the different ethnicities and food?
Yeah.
Everybody, every DNA makeup is different. Every
Right.
single one of them. So like what happens is when we go to the doctor and they diagnose you with something and they prescribe something, it's generic for all of the people with that condition, but not necessarily particular to your structure. So our bodies take different foods and deal with them different, each individual person. So
And
you know,
and just like
That's right.
sex, all our bodies deal with it different. And some of us,
that's facts.
we get you don't practice sexual discipline, and then you get in a relationship. And now this is what I try to. Now I'm about to spin it. I'm about to spin this. This about to catch you. This about to catch hard. Women don't practice submission while dating, and then all of a sudden get in a relationship and be asked to submit. You ain't practiced this none, so it's a difficult task. This man ain't practiced sexual discipline the whole time he was dating, and now he get in this relationship, and you asking him to practice this discipline all of a sudden. It's hard. And so you got two people, one person who can't submit because she ain't been practicing, and you got one man who ain't been keeping it to himself, and he's trying to practice. So them two things collide, and you got all these little different caveats that you ain't been practicing the whole time you've been dating. And so then when you get in a relationship, you ain't got a man who been practicing being a provider or being a protector. He been around a bunch of independent women who be like, no, I got this. So when he get in a relationship and you got this, he hands off. And you like, man, he don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I ain't got it. So, sir, if you watch it,
but you got a ring already. You already got a ring. So
well, that's why you don't you wait. You learn people, right? Like to me, for as far as relationships, I feel like, let's say there's something like submission. Let's say that once you get into a relationship with somebody and there's some things that you have difficulties with, I think it's fair to be willing to work on those things before the ring comes.
Oh, I got a question.
Okay.
I got a question. What if women just practice submitting all the time and men practicing sexual discipline?
That would be great. I would love it.
Yeah. I'm talking about while dating, meaning
I'm okay with that too. That
yeah,
would be
but then you know the first thing out somebody's mouth, I can't submit to everybody.
Well, that's on them.
They
but the truth is you have to. You have to, because if you don't, how do you know, one, how to do it, two, how to do it in difficult times, and then how do you prove this person ain't the one? Because if you submit to them, and one of the my favorite things is if you go to the store and you get a cake and you bake a cake, by the directions, and the cake comes out messed up, whose fault is it?
It's the cake's fault.
Most times, that's, and in the reality, in the perfect world, that's what it is. But some of us ain't gonna put the oven on 350. Some of us gonna use this instead of that. Some of us gonna put a little more. So even though we say we follow the directions, we still put our own stuff in it. So a lot of us ain't following the directions, but we want the same cake.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I understand. I understand
Yeah.
if I don't follow the directions and I gotta take the results how they come at the end of the
Not
day.
my fault at that
But
moment.
the
And
problem
just
is,
deal with it. You eat the cake or you buy
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
but the
my mother
problem
was
is,
trying
there's
to-
a lot of people of a feminine nature
Here we go.
that
Look at brother.
they
We ain't
feel
gonna
like they
turn
can-
this into no doggone. This ain't one of them shows. We ain't
Well,
doing
here we go. Like I'm like,
We
okay.
ain't doing this.
I ain't calling out no specific female gender. I'm
Right.
just saying that a lot of people want the cake that they ate. It's
Man,
I'm
a
with you,
dash
Kia.
of salt, and she put in a pound.
A lot of
Kia.
species of the male gender are the same way. So
No,
it's
Kia,
not
Kia,
everybody.
I'm
It
with you,
is
Kia.
everybody.
I'm with you
It
on
is-
this,
I think
Kia.
the only thing is a lot more men either don't know the ingredients. I think women kind of know the ingredients, but they put in their own amount. I think men don't know the ingredients, so they putting in what they think.
Let me ask you this, Mark. Let me ask you this. But before we go on to the next hot topic,
We ain't even really talked about the hot topic. Hot topic.
Right.
I know, right? and I'm gonna spin it back around to the actual hot topic before we get off. But have you ever known the ingredients to something and just decided to put your own twist on it?
After I was successful at doing the I don't reinvent the wheel. So after I became successful at doing it the way the ingredients say, then later I changed it to my own. But I'll
reinvent that wheel. My grandmother, God bless her soul, could have gave me the recipe for a pound cake, and I promise you, I'm gonna throw some strawberries in that bad boy.
Okay, but
So-
I agree with here's the thing, and that's I'll put flair to it, but I gotta follow the ingredients first.
To an extent.
So that it's like me. I'm in construction. I gotta build it according to the
I
code
feel you.
and the rules. Then how I paint don't change it. How I
Well,
decorate it don't
Hey,
change it. But I gotta follow it.
I don't know if people still doing this, but there was a time where people were substituting mayo for eggs.
Yeah.
If they ain't have no eggs, they'll throw some freaking mayo in it.
And they're doing that with applesauce too. I watch a lot of cooking shows.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all putting applesauce?
So, hey,
The substance like what?
Yeah.
Not
But
applesauce.
see, again, I
Yeah.
think as a novice, I'm gonna try to follow. Once I become a pro, once I like when I give you a perfect one, we can move on. When I was 18,
give me a short example.
when I was 18, I wanted some every day. That was my recipe. Now that I'm older, bro, I can go twice a month. I mean, unless she needed a little bit more often, I can perform.
Right.
I can get my sleep. I got my
Ooh-wee.
podcast. I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm straight. I'm good.
Ooh-wee.
I ain't got time for this. Like,
That everyday stuff, bro. Like, listen,
Ooh,
babe,
babe.
look, babe, go get you a boyfriend.
I'll say this before we go on to the next topic, and I want all y'all to answer this, but we'll start with you, Dre. Spinning it back to what this topic was about with Jackie O. Do you guys feel like with so much that goes on with reconstructive surgery and stuff like that, and the downside of it, do you think there should be stipulations or something set on it for who can get it, who can't get it, circumstance? Do you think they need to reel it in some, or just continue to let people do whatever they want to do? We'll start with you, sir.
I really think they need to continue to let people do what they want to do, man. Ultimately, I think they probably do have regulations and things of that nature, but people gonna always find a way to circumvent the rules. So, I mean, it kind of is what it is with that. I think there just needs to probably be more education, like this show right here, because I can tell you now that as a brother sitting on this panel, I don't even really like that shit. Like, you know what I mean? From what I've seen, it's not a big deal to me. I do prefer natural. You're not gonna see me all over Instagram or whatever, the examples are with hearts and comments and DMs to people to the females that's on that. I ain't with, that's just not my thing, especially, and my rule of thumb is if it doesn't look natural, I ain't with it. You know what I mean? Like I needed to look natural. So I'm not saying that there's anything necessarily wrong with it, but I've seen a lot of them that there was something wrong with it to me. Like it's like that's very unnatural. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking about, to be honest, or what happened and how. Like, and then it's when it's botched. It's like nobody's saying nothing. You got your friends, and this is what I hate. Women, y'all, man, and not to be funny, but y'all will support some bullshit at the end of the day. Like y'all rooting her on and shit, and you know this is no, but I'm not trying to get off topic. But as far as the BBL piece, I don't need that. Like for me, you know what I mean? Like whatever you come with, you can work on that and get that to the best you can naturally. But and the mummy makeovers or whatever, I'm not against it, but I don't know if it's worth the risk if people are, getting up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But
well, on the subject of what you just said, where women will support it, do you think there's a difference between them supporting it, or are they just trying to, I guess, uplift the sister since she's doing it anyway?
I think that is it. I think that kind of is it. But man, I see it. I'm on social media often enough to see it where that shit ain't real, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's fake. You know what I'm saying? You really ain't telling her the truth. You know what I mean? Or being honest with your people, being honest with your friends about certain things. And I think that can become a little toxic. I think that can become it can do a disservice where, versus and people do what they want to do, but I ain't finna sit around my homeboys and feed them no BS. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that it ain't either healthy or it might lead to some form of destruction and whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? We may joke, but I'm not gonna do that.
I feel you. I wouldn't do it either. Yeah. Nikita said they don't support it. They're making fun of her behind her back. They're glad it's botched.
I don't know if I like. So for me, I think I'm not anti-surgery because I've had it. But I think, like it was said before, if it looks like, you can tell when somebody has an issue, right? People who just keep getting. I don't remember the lady's name, but she looks like a walking blow-up doll. Her titty burst. Like, how you walking around with a titty that's just going to explode, right? So she had to get all this stuff to fix it. So I think that's an issue as far as like having some kind of like mental health evaluation for people who continue to get surgeries, because at this point now you just look like wrong, right? So or like even when it looks fake, like I hate those damn, I call them T-Rex hips. I hate that shit. The little shit that look like the Barbie legs where you can take that. It looks stupid. Yeah. It doesn't look right to me. Like it does. If it looks natural, fine. But once you start, like people who doing 15, 20 surgeries, you're doing surgeries to look like somebody, some celebrity, that's a mental issue. And I feel like, some surgeons who continue to operate on these people who clearly have some kind of like body dysmorphia issue, why are you operating on this? I feel like licenses.
You know why? You know why they are.
Yeah, it's definitely money, but to me, that's not right. Like, where's the moral, like,
that's
ground
everywhere. Like,
that's crazy to me. Like the man who wanted to look like a Ken doll. I don't know his name, but that man looks ridiculous. Like he looks like a walking like plastic doll. Like he doesn't look right. So I think there should be a limit to a certain.
I'll say in my opinion, and this is how we'll end this particular hot topic. But I think personally, the only way to really look natural is to do it naturally. Yeah. I really do. Because if you're gonna get some stuff done and it's to the extent where other people can see that something was done, then it's already beyond, the natural.
I've seen some natural. I've seen some pretty good ones now.
Some pretty good natural ones.
Ones that look pretty damn natural. Like, and you wouldn't, if you didn't know the person, then that's the big thing. Like, if you don't know the person and it's your first time kind of
seeing, if it makes you happy.
Do what you feel is happy, but don't do it to the extent where you putting your life, because every surgery is going to have a risk.
You got to put your life at risk.
It's going to be a risk.
Makes you happy.
But if you start,
it won't make you happy to die.
Exactly. So if you starting to get all these surgeries,
you won't know when you're dead.
The lady who had the one lady whose titty, but her like when I tell, she looks so Like if you see this woman, her lips are huge. She's
Oh
got
yeah, I've seen that lady.
fillers
Yeah,
and
I seen you talking about.
like
She looks
she
scary.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a mess. But I think she fed into it because, like you all were saying, some men.
Oh no,
I
no,
like
that's a
the
mental
women
issue.
who
That
look
ain't
like
got nothing to do
this.
with no man.
No,
That's
I think
mental.
for her
That was-
specifically, I think she
yeah.
has a problem.
Oh,
And I think
absolutely.
she's
she
trying to
has
be
one.
appealing to men. So, like for me, I didn't do it for
Well,
men. I
maybe.
did it because of me. But for
Yeah.
some women do.
I date her for a night.
Who?
You trifling.
Well,
Who we talking about?
but who is on?
Have you seen her, bro?
Seen Kim Bella lately? Who is
Where
Kim
she
Bella?
where did she like a,
Kim Bella, she's
In the kitchen?
the rapper's baby mama.
Boy, you.
I don't know what she looks like recently. She's on Love and Hip Hop, I think. Well, New York, I think.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
Kim
know
Bella
who
looks
it is.
bad, bro. She look bad.
I
But
haven't seen her recently. I'm gonna have to Google her because I have no idea what
she
she's
look
looking like.
bad.
I might look her up after.
That's Joe
I don't
Budden
know.
old thing.
Yeah.
Remember Joe Budden?
Oh, okay.
And she was
Well-
beautiful. She's like
That's the crazy part.
She was
And you know
already
what's crazy? The prettiest of women have the most
The
fucked
most
up
insecurity.
self-esteem.
Yes, the insecurities.
It's
like,
wild. It's a wild
I'm gonna
thing.
say that, or you could walk around ugly.
Yeah.
That's waiting on get into that. We'll go into the next hot topic.
Yeah, because but you know what's crazy? ugly people don't a lot of times don't really know that.
that's so mean. Go ahead,
We're gonna we'll save that for next month, Dre.
And I don't know what ugly is. My bad. I don't even know what that is.
Because ugly is
What is ugly? I mean, but I'm
exactly. Hey,
Wait a second.
hey,
Can somebody go back and get King?
No,
And
no.
can somebody go back and get King and Southside? Because I don't know where my panel is. They don't know what ugly is.
Hey, ugly to me may not be ugly to you.
Right.
No,
Beauty is in the
it
eye of
probably
the
is.
beholder, bro.
It probably,
Ugly.
it probably,
Ugly is not
it probably
universal.
is really close.
But you know what's crazy?
I'm gonna say
Ugly, ugly people to me, they don't really know. Like if I was to say some shit like online, be like, all pretty girls report to this, bro. You all the lineup, bro. It gets really wild.
But
I'm a nice guy.
Dre,
And I'm a nice guy. I'm a
not
nice
saying
guy, bro.
Ugly. We're not talking about how you feel. We
Look,
probably got
let's
the
go.
same definition on how you.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and then we going on to the next topic. And this is real talk. And people that know me know that I'm not lying with this. And this is why I say ugly depends on who's looking. I personally, literally, no jokes at all. I thought I was ugly, and I ain't talking about non-cute. I'm talking about ugly up until I was like 35 years old.
That's most of us. Most men
So-
were
Oh,
ugly.
like not most of
Most
us.
men of us, we were
I'm like,
ugly. And
I'm
then all of a
sorry,
sudden
bro.
we hit a,
I'm sorry.
shit,
No,
man,
I ain't
look at
never
that
did.
boy right
But you know what? Maybe when I was if you get confirmations of certain things early enough, you realize you're not ugly.
I think like for me, I got teased a lot, right? For me,
Me
like
too.
I had a lot of
Me
acting, big nose, forehead big, so I got called ugly
Who
for a
teased you,
long
Celine?
time.
Hold up, man. That's a whole
Right?
Who teased you, man?
Yo,
We went to school together.
My uncle used to call me ugly
Oh, okay.
when
Came
I
from-
was a
What does
kid.
Uncle look like?
So he called me ugly. I got picked on in school. So for a long time, I believe,
what-
fine with
Say
an
doesn't
ugly
fit you.
complex.
huh?
I'm fine with ugly insecurities.
Hey, buddy.
I be struggling
And
sometimes.
that's how
like,
we
how
going
am I
into the
getting
next
my
hot topic.
rose? I must still be ugly. And then I look in the mirror and be like, no, something wrong with them.
Well, on that note, we go into the next hot topic. But now, if you all know Jamil Hill, how she say it, Dre? I know you probably know. Is it Jamel?
I think it's Jamel.
You said okay. You said it close enough.
Well, Jamel Hill, she quit her job, podcasting and other things like that because Joe Rogan got 200 million for his podcast, and she said she'd like to see a black person, herself or someone else, get at least 100 million. Well, they didn't like that, so she exited stage left. Now the question is, you all can speak on that, but do you think that sometimes we can be so proud to be Black to our own detriment? What do you think?
I absolutely. Here's the thing, and I'll say this about, because I think it goes into all isms. I think one of the problems is we forget we're in somebody else's house, and when you in somebody else's house, there's a certain, I wouldn't say rules, I will say there's a certain etiquette you follow in people's house, and we keep asking and doing stuff and asking people to change the etiquette of their house, and
Yep.
our demise is thinking that somehow being a guest in your house is equal to the people who live in the house, and it will never be. And so I think we pump it up. I think as much as it happens, we still be throwing it in their face too, trying to show what we are. At some point, we got to be unbothered and just let it be what it is. And it, to me, this is no different than the last subject. It's a personal thing where you gonna try to state your ground, and it's gonna end up.
And that's why I think it's so important from what you just said, which I agree with 100%. But I think that's why it's so important that we build our own house versus trying to make somebody change theirs. Because
but we got to leave to do that.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, trying to get somebody else to change the way they house run is not going to work well for you.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem.
If their house been running for 100
Once
years.
Here's the
it
problem.
benefits them, then they'll do it.
Here's the problem with Black Americans. We don't have no house. There's nowhere we can go.
No, we can go somewhere.
Where?
Byron Allen,
Where we
There's
going? That is
there's
not already
enough
somebody
land
else's house.
in Africa for us to go there.
But that's still Africans. That's
No,
still
it's not. That's
it's their house.
but Byron Allen built his empire here. You know, we can. I mean, it might take
It's
some.
gonna be harder.
It's definitely going to take some
It's
work.
gonna be harder.
But
Yeah.
we just had to do it brick by brick.
As African American people, well, if we go to Africa, there's still that if we've been here all our lives.
Yeah.
We go to Africa, it's still
problem
there.
is this. A problem.
And see, I ain't talking about that kind of house. I understand what you said, Dre. I'm talking about leaving a network and starting your own shit.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about from that angle, but that's what I mean. Like, even the platforms that you're talking about, like build your own YouTube, build your own, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is.
But the problem
These
is
infrastructures.
we are still building within a house. All we building
Which is
is
what I was
a
speaking
room.
to, because I know that's what you want.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Either way you go, you talking the house is going to be housed by.
Yeah, we just building a wing onto the main house.
Right.
And which means that they always can cut the power. They can always stretch out the regulations. They can always, if you in my house, I can always say something to get you up out of my house. And I can always change the rules. And so the truth is, I think we're eventually, one or two things that have to happen. We have got to overthrow the house, or we have got to leave and go build our own house. It is much simpler to leave and build, because eventually the cycle repeats itself. Somebody gonna recognize when we overthrew, and they gonna hear about that, and they gonna want to overthrow the king. It's easier to go build our own house.
But that's not like what that's even what I'm saying. Like, where could we go where the house isn't already built? Where is
Africa.
that at?
They got a lot of stuff in Africa that's not built.
I mean, it's still Africa.
View us different. Like, they don't view us as Africans. They African American.
We're not Africans.
That's why it would be hard. Like, it would be an issue
because Africa is bigger. Africa is big enough.
So what you're saying is, but it's still the continent of Africa, right? So we're still talking about the continent of Africa.
Yeah, I'm saying there's places in within Africa
that's kind of terrain
which we can build and thrive.
I'm going to build.
I've never been to Africa, so I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been there.
Yeah. Let me say it this way: Africa. There are parts of Africa that are super political, and then there are parts of Africa that what Akon has done and things like that, where we could actually be what we want to be. and we won't even step on nobody.
So Mark, you believe that's a black people thing, right? So
Definitely.
going to build in Africa would be like build our own house is like Africa is the black house.
Yeah,
basically
Africa, absolutely. Africa, I think the problem is this: Africa is still wide open enough where it's not under a regime. Jamaica's under a regime. The islands, the Virgin Islands, are under a regime. Africa still is wide open enough to where we could actually build our own government and operate within a ecosystem that we wouldn't even have to worry about 90%, let's just say 50% of what we worry about here.
And I swear it sounds wonderful. And hey, brother, I think about it, but something about heat don't work well with me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's not like, but that's the problem. It's the same things we suffer. Go to Texas. Go.
Why I don't? I've been twice.
Right. Go during the summer, and you go out there.
That's where I left.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the issue with the whole African American. Like we've gone through, like we don't like if you really think about it, we have it really hard. Like in the world as far as homes, like even identity here, we still are struggling to find it. Like because we're trying to find the roots and go back and figure out where we.
I ain't trying to go back.
You know
I'm just trying to go where people ain't making
people
hard,
like us
harder.
Right, but you got to figure out. You have to determine where that is first. Like where did that originate?
Not in the United Divided States.
Right, but you have to still identify that it's there, right?
Yeah.
But and that's what we have to do. Like think about it. What I mean by that is, Asian people that are here, they literally a lot of times can pinpoint, where they come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The origination of themselves. Like most other ethnicities, they can do that. And it's changing in America a lot now because there are more and more people like us that are born here that are, from other countries originally or whatever.
Brother Dre,
have
you done a 23andMe?
Nope.
Okay.
And see, that's what I was. You thinking like I'm thinking though, Mark? Because
you can find out who you are.
Drake is right though, because
you absolutely can. You can find out.
If we knew more, those type things wouldn't be as popular as they are.
Okay,
and that's what he's saying. They don't have to do that.
Let me ask you a question. Here's my question: why do we have to know? Why can't we just go explore and find out?
That's still having to know.
No, we did it with sex. We didn't have to know.
But if you explore and go find out, you're still educating yourself on it.
About who you are, where you came from. I think that's important.
The discovery is, I think, the steps to leaving, the steps to getting away, the steps to breaking the chain or the cycle is more important. Than you could end up going to Africa and just be in America who now is African American African. You could end up doing, but you just got to get out. To me, you just got to get out the house.
Facts. I agree with that. It's just like what I'm saying is we're born and raised here, but we're black, right? So we're Americans, but we're black. So at the end of the day, and we are grown here, so it's hard to, once we start learning all the things we learn as Americans, you start to try to figure out like the real roots of your blackness at the end of the day. I'm saying is
American. I just don't want to live in America because America's a shitty place. I don't have to be Nigerian. I just don't want to live in America.
Well, on that note, I'm gonna read these two comments, and then we're going on to the next hot topic. We ain't gonna do this one like we did the last hot topic. But, because some of these topics, I didn't expect the first two topics could probably be shows on their own. But the problem, Adrian Tatum said, the problem in our community is always the same. We do not support each other enough to build a sandcastle, much less anything more substantial. That's the majority. Some of us will build and help.
It's hard to support higher prices and poor service.
Man, don't look here.
Hold up, man.
Now you mentioned earlier a place called Ruth Chris. So you'll go spend 50 or however much those steaks are, because I
It
ain't
ain't
giving them no
50.
money.
Well, it might
How
be
much?
50 for us. You spending for two, you spending a minimum about 200, right?
Right.
See,
Yeah.
people will spend that. Now, I'm not sure. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Is Ruth Chris a black-owned establishment?
No.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But a $15 bottle of my doggone beard / hair oil that is proven to be great.
Shameless.
It's called
Shameless
High Dollar.
plug.
No.
Absolutely.
Right. But here's the problem. Here's the only difference. What it costs to go to Roof Chris, knowing that it's fine dining, is the exact same thing you want me to spend
It's
on your
perception.
fish plate.
It's perception. I don't view it as fine dining.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm saying Roof
You
Chris
know-
has surpassed the Applebee's.
You
But
know,
at the same
yeah.
time,
Pete's has surpassed Applebee's.
right.
you know,
But when you want a fish plate on the side of the road, 2 for $50, and you
that's tough.
and it ain't fried hard,
That's tough.
I'm listen.
That's
Or you ain't got on no hairnet,
Yeah.
or
Hey.
you. Listen,
But look, real,
saying-
real talk. I gotta give, but women, for real, the women though, y'all do have the support thing figured out a lot better than us.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
like, I mean, it's night and day. I
Yeah.
promise you.
That's part of the problem, Dre, because they be sporting some.
Oh, look.
I mean,
we talking about the stuff
it's
that they
fake it.
support that's good. Because
And they support it all.
Yeah.
Like they just the black women support
Yeah.
the hell out of each other.
They
I
have
just-
to the
I
point
love it.
where women's
support us
eyelashes
too.
is sticking.
And they support
out.
us too more than we don't do. Man, we got it's Mark, bro. It's us, bro, on that one.
Do you
It's
know?
us.
Do you
We
know?
be on
and
the
this-
sideline
this is
way
crazy.
too much, bro.
This is crazy. Now, my another shameless plug. My website sells a lot of things, but
Mhm.
I've had more women buy just the beard oil from me than men. I've had women buy it in bulk, say they giving it to their man, and they gonna give it
Easy.
to other men that they see and stuff like that. Women support women.
We have to
and
be more
men
intentional,
a
bro.
lot.
We have to be more intentional because we losing in that.
I think we
Yeah.
are.
No,
I think this is me, and I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. There are a lot more women who are entrepreneuring and hustling. And if men are in relationships, I think we gotta support with the unintention to try to get some. And two,
Wait, what now?
a lot of brothers only support in efforts to try to impress
I mean,
or
who
try
these
to.
brothers y'all be knowing, bro? Like, what
Yeah, I
y'all
know,
saying,
right?
man? What?
I'm like,
What?
where
I
are
know.
they?
That's deep. That's deep.
Ask a lot of women,
Right,
brothers
right.
be like,
I
I'll
don't know.
support you. Can I get your number?
That's-
Or blah blah.
No, but see, that's men
That's a
supporting
problem, too.
women. We talking about men supporting men.
And the
Right.
other problem with brothers is we if you a real one like me, you done had a lot of brothers try to finesse you. It's hard when you've been finessed. I support. It's hard when
On
you've
that
been
note,
finessed.
we going to the next hot topic.
Right. Hey, but brother, hey, we gotta support each other, man, for real. For real.
Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
will.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely getting some beard
Yeah.
on because my stuff's starting to come in just a little bit.
Look, you a little patchy. You a little patchy.
Right, I'm a little
I got you.
Hey, man,
I got
human
you, bro.
mange.
I got you. I'm
See,
gonna
this is why I
support
was
you by
ugly.
sending you a free bottle.
I was
Yes,
ugly
it might
until I
be
got
too
some
high.
King beard oil.
What?
Send
Yeah.
us entrepreneurs.
What you
The
pay?
price
35?
is too high. I'm gonna send you a free bottle.
See, that's why I want a BBL because I ain't got no beard.
Well, we gonna
You
get
gotta
we
make
gonna
up
get the
when you
beard
polish
game
for
right.
that, right?
Right.
Compensation.
Hey, we gonna get your beard game right, Mark. But we gonna move on to your boy, Mr. Steal Your Girl, Trey Songz.
What did he do?
What did
'Cause I
he
don't
do?
know.
Trey Songz at this moment is being sued for $10 million because he exposed a woman's breast at a pool party. Now, this happened in 2013. There was a pool party. He came up behind her, pulled her bra up. Her breast was exposed. Now, this woman says that she quit her job after two months after that because she couldn't take, the laughs, and she was spread all over social media, da-da-da-da-da. She's saying there's a lot of mental anguish. Do you think that Trey Songz is doing too much, or do you think that this lady is doing too much.
He shouldn't have exposed her breast. Bottom line, like he was wrong for that. If she didn't come there with her titties out, he should have left them covered. The end. Like, and a lot of times women don't report things immediately because they are afraid. I've been in a position where I didn't report things immediately. It took me a while to say things because I was afraid. And women a lot of times get blamed because that's assault. At the like, we get blamed for being assaulted. Oh, you wanted that type of attention. You wanted this person to do this to you. So he was wrong. And whatever comes out of it, if he has to end up paying that woman any type of money, I don't care if it takes 10 years for her to get it. He shouldn't have exposed her like that.
And this isn't the first time Trey Songz has been in some stuff when it came to women.
So let's say this real quick now. So he going back, he flashed her or something like that. Like that's what he did. And just randomly, like,
this is what happened. He flashed her, and when he flashed her, he screamed out, "Titties!"
Yeah, that's a violation, bro.
He's wrong.
Yeah.
He should not have done that. If I don't care, like I said, assault is assault. If it takes you 20 years to report it, somebody still violated you.
No, boo.
No. What do you think, Mark?
The problem is this, because I done been around a lot of some. The problem is you have 4 women. You have the woman who wants it, and then when she don't get the response, then she all of a sudden she violated.
How do you know she wants it though?
That's not, and that's here's the problem when it comes to this situation, because a lot of women, not a lot, a good number of women use the trauma of it to get their stories out.
Pause, Mark. And I want you to remember what you're about to say, but I'm going to say this right here. The reason this is a slippery slope is because of exactly what Kia said. How do you know she wants it? If a woman is saying at any point, a woman says no, or doesn't tell you, or if she ain't lifting it up,
I got the fix.
Then we can't assume that she wants it because she's at the pool party.
I don't disagree. The problem is the problem. Here's the only problem that I really have with this. The whole story. She says her side.
Right.
And no matter whether her side is the truth,
no, she didn't.
I'm saying
that's what I'm gonna say. They got it on video, bro.
Right, but they got that part on video.
The part before he pulled it up into him pulling it up.
Right, but we don't have the part of her talking to him.
The relationship, whatever it may be.
It doesn't matter if she talked to him. He violated her.
Listen,
already out.
I mean, right now, I would say he violated her just on spec. But just to speak to what y'all saying, like, to kind of, for a rule of thumb, like for a guy, and I think if guys just get to this space where, look, I know when somebody wants me. I ain't all that fictional shit about how you pressing and all this stuff, man. Throw that shit out, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you know when a woman wants you. Get to that space right there. Like, you really do know, because now it's like, shoot, she can, and if this is the case, if she's making advances at you, making advances back at you, and you just know, like, but if you are the aggressor, it's hard then. Like, now, because women will fold. I had a woman tell me,
scared to say no. Do you know how many times
I've had women tell me that it gets pushed to a space to where now she's afraid to say no. Now, I push back when she said that, because in my mind, and this is from a man, I'm thinking, I would rather you, and this is me, that in the moment, I would rather you make sure it's known that that person is doing something wrong. But from a woman's mind, and I've never been in that space, but from a woman's mind, if she is in fear of, I've had a woman tell me she was in fear of being forcefully raped, so she did give in to what was going on.
Hey, Mark, wait, Mark. Before you go I'm gonna go to you right now, but I'm gonna say this too, and this is how I think more men need to operate. I'm gonna put myself in Trey Songz's shoes at this party. even if she would have whispered in my ear and said, pull my top up and expose my breast, and all these people around out here, instantly, that's a red flag for me.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna think I'm being set up.
Don't do it.
And I'm a star. I'm gonna be like, I'm being set up.
Mark,
why you can't pull your own darn
I've
top
never, and I'm not Trey Songz, and I'm not gonna pretend that I am and been in that environment per se. I've been in pool parties and things of that nature, but not as Trey Songs. But I ain't never pulled nobody shit up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what she
I'm not
said.
doing
Like,
it. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it.
somebody.
You go, Mark. What now? What start back where I paused you at, Mark, and go from there.
So the problem with this is the problem with the slippery slope is a lot of women will feel rejected, and then this becomes the narrative. So it makes the cries. Right now, I say err on the side of caution that maybe it did happen. But the problem is that you got a lot of women who get around stars who go. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was sitting, me and a celebrity and the pastor, and it was a bunch of us, and they went to go get our nails done. And the girl was like, "You such and such," and she was like, "I would do whatever to get with you." And he said, "My pastor's sitting right here, lady. You can't talk to me like that." She was like, "I do him too."
Right.
And so the problem with the storyline is when it comes out, if she gets what she wants, then it may be a clean story. If it actually happened, then it should be an immediate story. But you have the one storyline in there that's a problem, and I think this is what Amy Heard did. The problem is, or not just Amy Heard, maybe it might be the other topic with the NFL player, when they say something that just ain't true, and all of a sudden, what's Jason Jonathan? Was Jonathan
Majors?
What's his name?
Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Where a woman says something that happened and it didn't happen.
Right.
Mike Tyson is another case. I'm saying it's so hard.
That's a fact.
Easy to just give in and say the woman is. I'm not. Listen, my heart goes out to any woman who has been assaulted, because true assault is one of the things where you are. But that fake stuff.
I mean, they make it harder for people who are actually assaulted. But if this situation is on camera, it happens.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Is it the woman's? Is it more the woman's fault for lying, or more the man's fault for not moving right? Should he have known better? Should he have known better?
Here's the thing.
I think a liar is wrong. If you're gonna lie,
liar,
hey, bro,
it's wrong. Yeah, but we cannot err on the side more so of a person lied when you have something on tape, on video.
Right. That part is like when it's on tape, it's like where's the argument?
That's the problem. You don't have the backstory and all.
You don't need a backstory.
That backstory. Okay, let's say. Okay, Mark. Okay, let's say 2 weeks before this party, she had sex with Trey Songz. Does that mean because she had sex with him?
Don't change nothing.
Not at all.
That
he doesn't have the right to expose her in front of people.
Or let's say 2 weeks. She said, "Man, I'll do anything. You can have me anyway."
So what? You still don't have a right to
expose her. Like there are guys, bro. Like at the end of the day, we do have to. Like as a guy, bro. Like I can tell you now, like it's gonna the lie on certain people is gonna be so blatant. It's gonna be bad, bro. Like at the end of the day, because it's a way you can move as a guy where these issues, it's gonna be very tough. And celebrities now, on the flip side of it, celebrities can be targets, yes, but at the same time, celebrities can also use their celebrity to get away with this.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was going to bring up.
It's more of like an entitlement thing. So let's say all of this happened. He felt entitled enough to her body that he felt it was okay to expose her.
And
they say that that's what Trey Songz' issue is. Because Keke Palmer said the same thing.
And she got dragged. I remember that too.
Yeah, they say this is a habit with him.
a part of it is, and this is a part of the groupie. This is a part of the groupie mentality.
It doesn't, groupie or not, you don't have a right to expose anybody. Like, I don't care who
Man.
if she didn't show up with her titties out, they weren't already out, he
I ain't
definitely
doing
has
it.
permission to
I ain't
pull
doing
it.
I know
I
it.
think-
And
No.
if I know that she's a groupie, I'm most definitely
Leave
gonna
her
be
alone.
moving different.
Yeah, I ain't doing it. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah,
like I'm
you
telling
have
you, it's a way to
it's
know
it's
what
like,
it's
as a celebrity, you have to protect yourself too, right? So
Okay,
Yes.
now he's being sued. That's
this
his
is $1
fault.
million per year that she's been silent. Man,
So?
get out of
So,
here.
and I told, like, a lot of women, not just women, men too. You'd be surprised at how many men are sexually involved.
I
a thing. So it doesn't
listen,
matter when
I
it
don't
happens.
disagree with
The fact
that
that it
part.
happened is enough for it to be an issue.
Here's the part. I don't disagree with that part. One of the problems that I do also have a part is it also takes that long. Sometimes it takes that long to cook up the perfect scheme.
Well, I guess we'll figure it out. We'll find out.
like
Again, I
but
don't
he-
disagree. I just think
unfortunately,
it's
though-
a fine line right now.
Unfortunately, though, even if that's the case, he's gambling with his freedom, money, celebrity, and all of that.
But
It's not worth the
everybody
risk.
is. And here's the problem, and this is a problem with one of the things that happens is that every celebrity is thrown into this celebrity status. We don't. If he was a judge or a cop or a teacher, then yes, you earned your right to be a moral, have a certain morality about you. But this person just sing really good and can still be a creep. Just to me, he ain't. And so to say, "Oh, you're a target," no, I'm still a creep. I just can sing,
Bruh, I'm gonna say this, and we're moving on to the next topic. And I don't know if Kia, you, Mark, or Southside, if y'all deal with this, but I know I've dealt with this. I have dealt with situations that looked targetable, and I'm not even famous. So, and I've had to walk different, and I'm not even famous. So I know for a fact, if I'm here and I know these eyes are on me, bro, the way my anxiety and stuff is set up, I'm gonna get nervous with jokers asking for an autograph or a picture, much less being with half-clothed women in a pool party setting. And either way, I'm not snatching no tatas out, whether you ask me to or not.
I don't care.
I'm a tata snatcher outer.
Yeah, be careful, bro.
Jesus.
Be careful.
Yeah,
be
I
careful.
want to hear about you years from now, Mark.
Be careful, my boy. Hey, shit, Trey Songz probably felt the same way. Hey, he probably felt the same way. But make sure it's good. Like all I'm saying is make sure it's good. But
make sure it's working.
I just know that it's not something that
y'all see the video first. No,
exclusive. From what I saw in the video, I don't think Trey Songz think it was worth it. But on to the next thing. And this should be a quick one here because this one I just want to yes or no. I mean, you can say a little bit about it if you like, but prosecutors want Tory Lanez to serve 13 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foots. What do y'all think about that? Do you think that's too much time for the crime?
Nope.
Or do you even think that he did it?
I think he did it. Go to jail. Bye. He's a problem. He's jumped people. He's violent.
Wait, time out. I love how Kia responds to most things. It's just straight to the point and no sugar at all.
Lock him up.
He did it. Go to jail. Bye.
Yep. He's got a record of being a problem. Period.
I don't know. Like
he jumped August Alsina. He got into a fight with somebody else who's a promoter in Miami. That's what he does. So if he shot her in the foot, which apparently it was proven that he did it, audio and his parents enabled the hell out of him, send his ass to jail. I bet you ain't gonna be shooting nobody up in there.
I think Tory Lanez has some anger issues.
He got some issues. Send him away.
Didn't he punch August Alsina in the face?
Yes.
He wouldn't dap him up or something?
They jumped him. Him and his whole little posse. I don't care about that man going to jail. He goes with your bald-headed ass. Bye.
That man music dope as a motherfucker.
Ain't it though?
Here's the problem.
It is.
Here's my whole issue.
The man can make some good music.
Go to jail.
Celebrities move different. So
figure out what you make some music in jail. He'll have a whole bunch of motivation. He'll come out and get hit.
R. Kelly made good music too, though.
Great
And
music.
he was singing about
Great
little
music.
girls. Bye, R. Kelly. I don't care about him.
Here's my only issue. One, well, I have 3 issues, and I'm gonna say them real quick. One,
right.
nobody got shot in the feet and dancing 2 weeks later, because if you've been shot, you know that's not gonna happen.
Hey, not only dancing, but she grabbed them knees.
Right.
Well,
she
She
up
did
on
not
them
get
poles.
shot in.
maybe it was some shrapnel, but he
Hey,
did
Kia,
it.
look
Let
at
it
this.
go
She ain't with
there.
none of this
She was
shit.
strong.
Kid, you
She ain't
you
with
don't
none of
even
this shit.
know a woman who sprained her ankle in no high heels.
Well, I wasn't there, but apparently the gun
but
was pointed at her,
Here's
and he
that's
aimed at her
one.
feet.
No,
So he going by.
he was accused. He wasn't accused of shooting her in the feet. He was accused of discharging the weapon. So
Well, he shouldn't have done it. I don't
Okay.
feel sorry for him. He's problematic. He is problematic.
Listen.
Let's say-
Okay, so listen. I was very. I'm not gonna lie. When all this stuff originally popped off, I was very. I'm not gonna lie. I was very apologetic for Tory Lanez. I didn't believe the shit. Like, it didn't make sense to me that he did that. But after everything, and now I realize, like, okay, he might have done it. I'm still like, okay, he should go to jail. But at the same time, there's more to this shit. Like,
that's the part I'm saying.
This ain't the entire story.
This
like,
is all business.
Yeah, it's something real weird about some of the stuff that went on. So I don't know all the intricacies and all that stuff, but in 13 years, I don't know, because this is almost like friends amongst friends. I don't think this was a malice thing that happened. I don't believe it was malice.
I think, and it was a terrible trial.
This is
I think it's almost like a person shooting themselves accidentally type situation. Like, everybody was on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was.
I think he's getting so much time and stuff because of and I could be wrong, but from what I've heard, from what the judge said and stuff, I think they're looking at a lot of what ifs. Because even with him discharging like that, what if that bullet would have hit an innocent bystander and taken them out of here?
I think they're making an example.
He would hit a kid or something like that.
And Megan makes more money than him. So I think the truth is this. I think it's all a public spectacle that has to happen like they did to Tupac. I think it's a whole public spectacle. And I got the other issue is, I think this is asking for as much as you can, knowing that you'll probably negotiate to something smaller. But this, to me, these are celebrity issues. These are rich people issues. So 13 years for discharging the gun, and your DNA not there, and she don't testify, and the key witness don't show up. 13 years is too much.
You know what, though? You know what? Unfortunately, a lot of times we get in trouble, and it's not really looked at what we did, but what we did prior.
And that's what Christians do. They forgive you and then bring up your whole past.
Why are you pointing at me?
With him, like, it ain't really. He didn't.
Why are you pointing at me?
Christians be like, you're forgiven, but you remember when you beat up.
I don't forgive nobody. Look, he ain't talking about me. I'm not forgiving at all.
Kia does not forgive.
And that's this, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is sponsored by Try Forgiveness.
Listen, and what I got a question. What did he do?
The person that hasn't been wronged.
Well, what did he do though? Like what did we? I know it's music. I heard a little bit about.
He's aggressive in an industry where people are aggressive.
What do we even like? I don't. What I'm saying is, listen. I really listen. I got the albums. I listen to the music. I watch his lives where he's recording live. Like at the end of the day,
me too.
My point is, I don't know if there's this big overhaul on. He ain't really done no whole lot now to be in trouble. Like if we talking about the August Alsina thing.
Oh no. I'm talking about just his little regular stuff when he get on people. Cause I think he was in a studio session with Travis Scott. And trying to fight Travis Scott. That's why I say
that's regular. That's regular stuff.
That's regular people.
That's regular stuff.
That's regular.
Everybody got that
millennial behavior.
But it's like Adrian said. The rest of the story has nothing to do with the California Penal Code. He was found guilty. Period. If the code says A to B, you pick from A to B.
Yeah.
I know that's what I'm saying. I agree. That's what the issue is. I think right now I think 13 years is too much, but at the same time,
I think it's too much.
I think it's I think they're just throwing something out there, see what sticks, and go for it. I mean,
I
don't
will
think
say
it's
this.
a thing.
Before we move on to the next one, I will say this. There are people that, and I know one of these people personally, that have done less time for murder. Less
Right.
than 13 years.
I mean,
So,
we see a lot of this going on in the hip
If
hop
he
community.
does
like, in
13
general.
years, we ought to send Brittany Griner back.
Hey, we moving on.
Wait a minute.
No, we moving on. We moving on.
No, you make that connection.
Okay, on another note, your boy, and I love me some Al Pacino. Al Pacino is 82 years old. Just had another baby with his girlfriend who's 29. Do you think Al Pacino should stop having kids? At what point does it become? Wait, at what point does it become kind of selfish?
Not Nick Cannon.
As long as he can keep pumping them out, go for it, sir.
Right.
Like, I don't care what that man does or how many kids he has.
Well, look at
Let's go, baby.
Okay,
That baby gonna be old as hell coming out.
If let's say at 82, now when this child is 10, he'll be 92. Now we all know the life expectancy of most people. Now, if let's say this child, think about the psyche of the child. Does it matter at all if this child loses a father?
She can get another daddy. Hell, she's 20 years old. It's gonna be another man. Like that.
This is what I be talking about. She be giving the white tea people a pass, but the brothers got to go for.
No,
13.
she's 20.
He got kids.
She's 29 years old.
Hey, Mark, you got to. Hey, that's a good point, bro. Like, hey, wait a minute now. That is a good point. Now. Okay, you a little hard on us now to be talking like he can do whatever he want to do, huh?
He can. Any man who, I don't care about Nick Cannon having a bunch of damn kids. Now, he may not be able to like be there for all of them. Realistically, he can't. But
so Al Pacino,
I don't care about
Al
him.
Pacino's not gonna be there.
I don't see Al Pacino running around the park with little Timmy.
I don't either. And if he gone in 10 years and she remarries, there can be another father figure. Like, that's just the reality.
I don't know. You flip flopping now, kid. I don't know. This on support. This on support.
We fight for those fatherhood days. We scratch and we claw for those fatherhood days.
He ain't got no choice. He 1 foot out the door. Now, if he was 32, that's different. But he's 60 years older than her.
Yeah, but if he at 32, she would have been 13. So
unalive, like she wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But
right,
the age
but when you are the Godfather, when God is looking down on you, he's an absentee landlord.
Well, he the one had the baby.
Listen,
like what
make
can we do?
Babies until he can't make them no more, and get Trey Songz out of jail.
What we should really be focusing on is the fact that man that old having like can.
Right, because that's hard.
Hold on. Let me get my Al Pacino on. Let me get my Al Pacino.
Like this man, but think so now. So think about it.
Come on, baby.
So think about
from the daddy.
No. So think about that from I don't know, like the male and female. Like, damn.
I hope I got Al Pacino blood in me.
I mean, I'm done. We done with that. But at the same time, the fact that
he ain't got a pump. And realistically, all the man got to do is lay there. She 29 years old. She can Megan Thee Stallion
all the work. It probably didn't.
You know what? I feel okay if my unalive grandpa, my dad was Al Pacino. Be like, son, I don't got no daddy, but my daddy was Al Pacino.
Hey, you know what Al Pacino ain't got to worry about? He ain't got to worry about nobody. He ain't got to worry about nobody saying they forced them. If they doing all the work, it's
right. He's straight.
I didn't force her to do nothing. Like she did all the work.
Yeah. Here's the only difference is I just want them to be Al Pacino's kids, unlike Michael Jackson's kids, because now that they older, they may not be.
I mean, come on, look at Michael. You can tell them kids is white. Cut it out.
That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to be a real Pacino.
And this is my thing with that. No matter what Michael Jackson looked like when he passed, we know what the real Michael Jackson looked like.
Right.
And those
kids should have came out of
Hey man, they came out
like Jacksons all look like Michael Jackson when he passed. All of them went to the same doctor or something.
Man, they come out looking like he wanted
They
to look.
came out looking like Michael Jackson looked at the end, not the beginning.
Exactly.
Right. The only one that looks like him is the youngest one, the blanket.
Blanket.
Yeah.
He's the one that kind of maybe look like him, like in the nose area. But other
I
than
ain't seen Blanket since he had the blanket over his head, so I have no idea.
None of them got no pigment.
yeah, they all white as hell. Them babies are
They
white.
can't
Hey,
be
they
Michael
came out
Jackson. I don't care what Michael Jackson did to his skin. He ain't bleached
babies
that
are white.
DNA.
Exactly.
That
Hey, man.
Dana still got a little hood in it.
Yeah.
He got that big nose up in it somewhere.
They came out looking like he wanted to look.
Yeah,
Right.
He's white. That was the
He
side
had
by
his
side
future
picture.
grandkids after they done mixed a couple times.
And they got Paris or whatever talking about she identifies as black. Like, shut the fuck up. You are not black, sis.
Yeah.
Hey, Tory Lanez identifies as innocent.
Anyway, next.
Hey, you see what that got him. But on to the next topic. Now, this is one of those lukewarm topics because it's been, it didn't just happen. But y'all remember when Gabrielle Union was saying that she felt justified in her cheating in her past marriage because she felt like she made more money than the husband.
Oh yeah.
Well, 50 Cent said that's a whole mentality. Now, do you think that's actually a whole mentality, or do you think there's some, truth to what she may be feeling like? Do you
They're
feel
both wrong.
like
They're both wrong. She's wrong for cheating because I made more money. I get to cheat. So she wrong as hell. And he's wrong. Hoes get that's not a whole mentality. I don't hoes get paid for what they do. That's my definition of
Not all of them.
some of them?
All of them.
a smart hoe.
Prostitutes get paid for what they do.
Well,
Hoes just out there getting.
I know some. It's a lot of free hoes. Like,
they stupid as hell.
I'm trying to see where she getting this from.
If you're gonna be a hoe, you're gonna be a paid hoe. I don't think. I don't think
mentality is the person who
wait, Mark. Let Kia cook. Let Kia
go
cook.
ahead.
I think everybody's wrong. She's wrong. I heard something about it. Didn't like if that's what her excuse was for cheating, because I made more than him. That's wrong as fuck. Like,
well, I think she said her father. Did she say her father was that way or something?
Yeah.
Then he's wrong. Maybe she didn't know better, but it's still wrong. That's not an excuse. I don't think I make more money.
There is no excuse.
You can't cheat because you make more money. Like,
no, there is no excuse.
That's
the excuse is I cheated. I mean,
right,
shit.
exactly. Like, I don't think it's.
It ain't got nothing to do with no more money. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. It's just that's what you did. Like, you wanted to do something else. You
was gonna cheat anyway. It didn't have nothing to do with the money.
Let me ask you this, and I know we're speculating right now, but do you think that mentality is kind of why she stuck with Dwayne Wade when he had the baby outside of her?
I think they were broken up though. When he got I think they were separated. When he got the girl pregnant, they were separated. They got back together, and I want to say, I believe the story, she found out they were pregnant, or the girl was pregnant after they got back together. So they were on a break when he got her pregnant.
Oh,
so
that's convenient.
The problem,
very, very convenient.
It is, but I don't know.
Well,
I wasn't there.
That's if you separated, what you're supposed to do. That's what
right. I mean, I'm not.
But
you're supposed to get somebody pregnant.
I think it's a whole mentality, but I think it's a justifiable cheating. I think it's justified in cheating.
You say what?
Wow.
I said I think it's a whole mentality, but I think it's always been justified in cheating. Whoever made the goal made the rules, and that's the way that it was the old school when papas had 5 and 6 families or kings just choose who they want. When you have the gold and the power, you got to make the rules, and so I think that's been an age-old patriarchal mindset passed down. However, I think as we get more and more involved in ethical and healthier relationship, is whole mentality to think anybody is when you have a reason or justified cheating. I think it comes from a deficiency or a hoficiency in this case, where it could be your go-to, but I think it's that deficiency, but justifiably when you had the money, when I made the money and you ain't satisfying me, what did my boy say? Cancel her. Cancel her. I'll
Nino
get
Brown.
another one. And
Nino
I think
Brown.
that's what they do.
Nino
I mean,
Brown.
that's what people with money do.
I mean, it's
think
real.
people would not here's let's say this, because we arguing from, and I ain't counting nobody's pocket, but we arguing from a lot less money. When we have they kind of money, they conversations. I got $50 million, and my girl is making $100,000. Man, I can go do whatever I want to do.
So if that's the case, is your relationship based off power?
I'm not saying it is, but a lot of relationships are. When you say I'm the head, is that not a power statement?
Oh yes,
they are, but I'm be real with you. I don't damn about none of that, bro. Like that's me. At the end of the day,
Yeah, me either.
I'm me. I don't care what's going on.
$50 million in the bank.
I don't care how much money you got. The minute you step out in any goddamn cootie, we have a goddamn problem.
Yeah,
if I got
$50 million
herpes or whatever, because you outside, you think you make $50 million and you can go fuck whoever you want to fuck. We got a
but
whole.
Mark, what you just said is just be good at the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's what it like. For example, let me ask a question, like for real, like because this is what I question. I always question, like you said, Mark, because there is a different standard, right? There's a different standard as it pertains to celebrity. Like Michael Jordan is gonna be. They're gonna be women that threw their pen. I'm talking about he gonna get hit with so many different opportunities in life that where I'm not gonna get those type of opportunities. He has to say no so much if he wants to be perfect. All right. So if LeBron James, as far as we know, right, it looks real clean. Like we ain't heard no scandals or nothing like that. So at the end of the day,
I heard one, but go ahead.
it wasn't nothing major, like enough, like, and they probably put it to bed. Like
he cleaned it up.
They cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up.
Boom. So what I'm saying is, even with that power, are you good at it? You know what I'm saying? You still have to figure out a way to manage it and be good at it, because at the end of the day, it's like you said, Mark, the situation is gonna be different from me. Like I'm not gonna get now, and I think that works in its favor, because to be honest, it varies on all levels. Like it's not just LeBron James and then me or whatever. There's me and then there's somebody else. In my opinion, like there are people that don't have to deal with certain things, like you, Mark, or you, Kill, or you, Salih. Like there are people. It's levels to it all. Everybody ain't getting DMs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not happening to everybody. So those people have to deal with it the way that they deal with it. And I mean, I don't know. Like as far as I'm concerned,
think the other thing is, I think here's the other thing. I think women manage it better because they constantly have somebody, or most likely have a consistent level of men who want to try. I think men don't have the same. Men ain't getting. I'm not constantly getting DM'd. I'm not.
So you saying women have more options?
Women have more opportunity to practice.
In period.
Men don't have. I don't have. Men don't. A woman says this. A woman approaches. A man approaches a woman, says, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you." She says, "I got a man." She's like, "Oh, but I really." She's like, "No, I said I got a man." Blah blah blah. A woman approaches a man and says, "Hey, I'd like to do." He says, "I got a woman." He said, "I don't care nothing about that." He's like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I told her what I had going. So it's like I did the. What could I do? I told her I had a woman. And so
you can walk away. You can run.
Right. The problem is, and here's what I'm saying is, men aren't used to that kind of pressure. Usually, I think celebrities or people with money, not less celebrities, people who have money, who can put their girlfriend up in a $50,000 a year apartment
house or something.
Yeah, they move different, and so I think asking people with money, with means and access and power to operate like those of us who do not have that
That's unfair.
That boy,
That's
you-
unfair.
I can buy
But I
it.
think-
It's unfair.
Yo,
I think
unfair.
Kia, though, but I think Kia, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kia. I think Kia is coming from it from a standpoint of just like a lot of people are, money or no money, you still have to have a moral compass within yourself as
your
a man.
moral
You
compass
still make
changes when you
it's
got
still
money.
a choice. It's still a choice because
It
I'm
is.
just gonna pull this man's name out the hat because I saw something about him earlier today. Barack Obama, right?
Right.
You know how much or close to it, how much Barack Obama is worth. You know the power that Barack Obama held and still has. Do
Mhm.
you think women throwing themselves at him, because it's a lot of them, I've seen it.
Hell yeah, they are.
Do you think it's a tough decision for him
Yeah.
to turn them down?
I think it is.
Yes. Yeah. It's tough for him.
Here's the
It's absolutely. He a man. It's tough.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Not only if he did it, he could do it in front of the Secret Service, and they better keep that secret.
Let me
So
tell you,
I'm just saying his boys got to keep it a secret.
after Mark finished that statement, we moving on to the next topic.
Okay,
I see this going to a place where it's gonna get a lot of men in trouble, and
Okay.
I will not sit in a booth
But
where
here's
we
the
talk
difference.
about
It ain't gonna get me in trouble.
man.
I ain't going. I'm just saying that it's different. When you stressed out, let's just say right now, when you stressed out, you go outside. When you got money and you stressed out, you say, "I'm going to Japan for the weekend." I think it's different. It's a different moral compass when you have that kind of power, and it makes issues that much different. That's
It's
different.
different.
I'm not
It's
saying you
definitely different.
shouldn't.
Next topic.
Yeah.
But I just think it's different.
It's different.
I hear you. Okay, do you feel like, and we'll start with Kia, then go to Southside, then we'll go to you, Mark. Do you think that Justin Combs' mother should be upset with Diddy over his DUI?
Nope. That boy is grown as fuck. He made his choice. You
What?
drove the car
What?
drunk.
Give me some
You a
Give me
grown
some
man.
backstory. Give me some backstory.
Well,
I ain't heard
The
about
the mom is Justin got caught with he got stopped for a DUI.
this. Okay.
Justin's mom went on this Twitter rant to Diddy. Basically, her standpoint is, okay, even though I think he's about 30 years old
He's
or
grown.
29. So she's saying because of the lifestyle that he's been around with the partying and the Diddy whole thing, she's saying basically she wished that she would have had him instead of letting Diddy raise him.
She shouldn't
So
be blaming him for
He's
that.
mad at Diddy.
He's grown. He's a grown ass man who made a
it's over
choice.
with.
And she
So-
can't
so-
blame the dad for her grown son getting a DUI. Unless he said, son, drink this beer. I encourage you to keep drinking. And then I want you to drive drunk. And even at that point, he's still an adult. He's grown. You're a grown 29, 30-year-old ass got into the car. So take that up with your son because he's old enough to make his own decisions. He's a grown man. And she's wrong for being upset with Diddy for that. That's ludicrous. Girl, sit down.
Do you
Stop
think Diddy should carry some of the blame
For what? For his son driving?
for the lifestyle that he exposed him to with the whole? Because look at it this way, he saw just from something we know as peons, he saw his dad be the case. He sees his dad do numerous things and pretty much walk the earth like I do what I want to do. There's no consequences for me. So if he's seen that from a young child on up into adulthood, do you think it's possible that he probably felt like it goes for him too?
I think to a certain extent, yes, but then also no. Because at some point, as an adult, you know the difference between right and wrong.
I
You know
agree.
the difference. So I think the full responsibility lies on the person who got the DUI. Yes, he may have been exposed to a lot of shit. Like we've heard rumors about Diddy and the things that he does, but that man is grown. What's up, Mark? Because I feel
What do you
like
think,
that's
Dre?
what you want to say.
Yeah.
No, Dre going first. Then
Oh,
more.
my bad.
I mean, shoot, blame Diddy. Like, really, who cares at the end of the day? Like, as far as the blame, because you can blame Diddy for a DUI if you want to, but then you have to blame him for this rich lifestyle that he's been able to afford everybody. What does she do? You know, what's her background? You know what I mean? There is always blame to go around from a parenting standpoint, but I mean, to speak on something as specific as a DUI, I mean, does that mean that every negative thing that happens to that young man is Diddy's fault? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
so you know what I mean?
He
So it's
has
like
some accountability.
these are just kids. Like I'm sure plenty of kids that ain't Diddy's son got DUIs. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. It is what it is. But for her to say the lifestyle, well let's sit down and we're gonna calculate all of these other things that this lifestyle is afforded for you and Justin and all of us at the end of the day. And we're gonna figure out the pros and the cons and let's make that make sense. Because I mean, for me, I think it's really mute at the end of the day. Like, why he got a DUI? And it is what it is.
Yeah. What you think, Mark?
I think it's Justin's fault, but Diddy is responsible.
Why do you think Diddy's responsible?
Because I think the difference between I think he's responsible for not putting as much structure and guidelines out there for his child. At the same time, it's also not his fault if his kid doesn't follow that. And so if my parents does drugs, even though they're responsible for showing me an element that exposing me to that element, it's my fault if I fall into that. So I think the issue that I have is I think it's Diddy's responsibility to show him a more accurate depiction of how society works or should work, but it's his fault for not getting that information on his own as well.
Well, let's talk about this, because you say the accurate depiction. Is it with Diddy's lifestyle and what got him to where he is, there's some sort of a character that Diddy has to play to be Diddy.
Right.
So is it fair to say have this structure for him, but yet show him something else so I can still afford this life I want them to have?
So here's what I mean by that. Diddy can get that. Justin can't, because Justin didn't do what Diddy did. So I think like Fat Joe said, you have to separate what I did to be here versus what you are. Because if you are trying to, if I'm Diddy and I ride through the city speeding, I can say, well, I'm Diddy, and they're like, oh man, yeah, da 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 da. But to say, hey, I'm Diddy's son, bro, you're not Diddy. So yeah. I think that's what I mean by the more accurate depiction. Like, you're gonna get a lot of clout because who your dad is, but you don't get to do the stuff your dad does. And so that's why I say I think he's responsible for teaching them that. I think he's responsible for teaching him how to do the things that he did, because it would be different. It would be Diddy's fault if Diddy had a DUI. Diddy doesn't have any DUIs. So he's got to teach him how to be responsible, but it's his fault for getting a DUI.
I feel you. That makes sense.
I just don't know. I don't know if we know enough that he didn't. You know what I mean? Like that he doesn't.
Right, but if he did, I'm just saying, even if he didn't, that's the Diddy in me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That ain't the Diddy in you. Right. You got to do our Diddy now, buddy. It's right. DUI Diddy.
Right.
I feel you. Okay.
DUI Diddy, boy.
Let's talk about old boy, because I saw something yesterday. There's a video of Gunplay. And for those that don't know Gunplay is a rapper that's affiliated with Rick Ross. Now, there's a video of Gunplay giving Rick Ross a chain and everything while Rick Ross is laying down. But forget the laying down part. He gave Rick Ross a very expensive chain a month and a half or so after his wife put up a GoFundMe for his daughter because she had some kind of heart condition or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think it makes much sense for him to be splurging and spending like that for his friend when you have a GoFundMe up from other people to donate money for your daughter's sickness?
Bro, we know GoFundMe, like that's what in his defense, he did say that was more so his wife's thing. I did see when he was going, back and forth with the envy thing, like that was his wife making that decision. But let's even GoFundMe though. I don't think GoFundMe necessarily reflects what's going on in the person's financial life per se.
But let me ask you this, Dre. Mm-hmm. Now on that same line, if you were married and you have finances, you have money, right?
Right.
Do you think your wife, knowing that you have money, would go do the GoFundMe without just saying, "Babe, hey, our daughter needs such"?
Not my wife.
Yeah, if she did that without his knowledge, then
not my wife.
You know what I'm saying? It's wrong if she did that without him knowing it, but he got the finances
with his knowledge and said, "I don't want none of your money. I could do this."
And she's wrong.
I mean,
she's wrong for that.
So really, what we kind of saying, and no disrespect to the gangster, but what we kind of saying is, it looks bad based upon what the wife did. It looks bad because the wife did something, and now you have to kind of speak to Gunplay has to kind of speak to what he's done since or whatever it is. So it's like, bro, and like I said, you asked me, my wife not doing that. But that's different for me.
I think a lot of wives would do that.
But even
my wife,
even with that though, I mean, even with the video with him and Envy, when he was talking to Envy, he's like, he didn't say, "Yo, Envy, how can you say that? Because I didn't even know that my wife was doing it." He said, "Envy, why are you talking about that? My daughter is sick."
The rappers don't be having the money that they be saying they be having, bro. Like, really, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think, it's still social media. They make things look a certain way, but we struggling.
Boss might have gave him the money to get the chain.
Yeah, that might not have been his chain.
it might easily just been that chain. Your prop chain.
It was Big Sean said they used to ride around with mobile ice Rolexes, even once they got bread, because once you assume, like my mama had a Jaguar and I bought a $99 Pepsi Cola fur. Well, getting out of Jag and it had on the fur, you can't tell it wasn't real. So I think a lot of times that prop jewelry.
It is what it like. Them folk don't be having the money that they might act like they have. So it is what it is. So Gunplay could have just, if he laid back in that, then it probably is like we need it. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, or maybe not. But if it's me and we don't need it, well, why are we doing it? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
yeah, I agree with that.
And that's just me. Like my wife or my old lady, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. We ain't gonna move like that if we don't need it. I'm not, and that's just me. That's just like, I'm not gonna put up a GoFundMe. We don't need a GoFundMe. Right. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. So and what people are saying is, or what you may be saying, Salih, if you gifting Ross this chain, how can you need that? But it's kind of separate. So like I said, with him, I don't know what their financial space, I don't even want to know. But at the same time, for me, if it's my wife, then no, we're not doing a GoFundMe, and we got money. You know what I'm saying? If we got money to afford these other things.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, like, if you have the money, what's the point?
But and this is separate. I'm not putting it, but scamming is at an all-time high, man. Like, scamming is the new win. If you really think about it,
like, I don't know.
That's the win. If you can't, if you ain't out here scamming, it's a hard road for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a difficult road for you. I don't care what nobody say. If you ain't out here scamming, finessing in some type of way, it's a tough road. That's what we in right now. That's the element we in. So
they may have just not wanted to use their own money.
May not.
We got it, but if we can get people to give us money,
we'll take that.
It's easier, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Everybody likes free things, so
yeah, we'll take that. But
there's nothing like OPM.
Other people's money.
Yeah. No, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. Like, it's a real thing, like scamming and finessing. That's what it is. Yeah. It's really, that's the element that we in. So, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even speak on it. I don't know those people with finances and none of that stuff. But at the end of the day, me personally, if I'm speaking for myself, I'm just not the type of person that feel good about putting a GoFundMe up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Knowing that, I mean, we really got it, but I'm gonna take some people, because it'd be people out here that might not really have it, but they feel for your story, So they throwing you the 5 and the 10 and the 20,
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, I'm taking their money. You know,
And they
and I
might
got
be
it.
for $5. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, I will make a GoFundMe if listen.
Yeah, you a wild
I'll
one.
make a GoFundMe for our panel.
shut up.
Yeah. Look, bro.
This man,
Hey, man. Hey,
This is a disclaimer. I won't do it, but I'm just
Hey.
saying.
Hey.
No,
no, but here's the crazy shit.
people
We
will
working
do it.
for it. We working for it. Like at the end of the day, like this is almost like putting up your Cash App, which you know
Hey.
people choose to do it.
bro,
I ain't mad at that.
I see so many content
work.
creators. I see so many content creators that will have their Cash App posted right
Facts.
above their screen. And when I tell you, it is amazing to me when you watch all those comments going down of people. I just gave $10. I just gave $20. Da 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 da. Just for the information and the entertainment of it all.
But it's
Because
work. That's work.
a lot of the stuff we're doing is entertainment, but there's a lot of good jewels within the scoop. So, Mark, get on your GoFundMe for the King Talk panel.
Facts.
Right. I mean, if you
help
to do it,
help where she at. You can help a recovering cheater or cheater ally.
Hey,
like going to our Go.
You know what I'm saying?
Just give to kingshittalk.com.
and you disperse it, you know, appropriately, bro.
Yeah, I'll make sure everybody get their cut.
You know what I'm saying? But at least, but it's the difference.
According to the comments, you can cheat me out of mine.
But listen, hey, but it's different from a GoFundMe when you really not doing like we working. You know what I'm saying? Like this is real. But a GoFundMe is literally like there's something going on and just throw money at that and you don't have to ever see us.
Some people just are charitable hearts. And if you think about it, $100,000 is not a lot. It's not a lot of money, and it don't take a lot of people.
But a free 100,000 though.
Bro, you get 1,000 people to give you $100.
That's a lick.
Yeah.
That's a lick.
You get 2,000 people to give you $50, and you get
that's a lick.
I'm good. Hey, we gonna talk about this off camera.
we gotta come up with a strategy. Like
that's a lick. It ain't. These numbers make sense. Like
these numbers sounding real good.
Hey, I'm about to dip out.
I feel you, brother, man.
It was good to see the panel. Yeah, we got
that man got a date, bro. That man got a date. That man got a date, bro. I swear.
I don't have a GoFundMe yet, so that means I gotta GoFundMe.
we getting there, brother. But hey, Mark, we'll do it again.
Next month for sure.
Yeah, next month. Absolutely. You know what's coming.
And I'm gonna get on Tammy and somebody else about me being a cheater.
And Mark, sir, I thought you needed help with your disability rating, sir.
You know what? I was priorities. I no lie. When I get off of here, I go straight into the office and to be like, let's do it. Oh, if you wouldn't have said nothing, I need your I'm gonna send you my email.
I got you.
Give her my email.
I got you.
Thank y'all.
All right, brother, man.
All right.
Hey, man.
All right, next doggone hot topic. And this topic is scorching. Dre alluded to it earlier. Why your boy out here making babies with strippers but spitting in porn stars' mouths?
Oh, you talking about the
Zion Williams. Zion Williamson is in the news because he had some photos up with him and his girlfriend. You know, they're having a baby. Beautiful pictures. They were glowing. But then the light got shone on this man by I don't even know, can you call her a side chick? Really? But it's somebody he was dealing with. Let's say that.
We don't even really know, bro. Like, we don't know what's going on.
She happens to be a porn star, and I did a little research.
Okay. You know what's going on.
They say that, and I don't remember her name, but they said that she has over 10 million views on Pornhub. She has over 5 million views on another porn site or whatever. Well, apparently Zion was sexing her They had sex, and she put up explicit details on what they did. And her thing is, she's saying, you know, she basically saying you could have told me that you had a woman, but you posting up with this woman pregnant, but you trying to move me to New Orleans where you live at. So apparently he was trying to have his cake and eat it too. He was like, I'll get you an apartment down here, da 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 da. So now she's salty and exposing it all. What y'all think about that?
She should have taken the apartment.
She should have what?
She should have took the apartment.
She did, didn't she?
Because he would. Well,
I think she moved. I think she moved out
They-
there.
They were in the process. They were in the
She never
process.
moved.
And I think he was saying through the text messages that she put up that I saw, he was gonna be giving her like 15 stacks a month too.
Stipend.
Well, maybe her. I think
Yeah.
in this instance, maybe she was emotionally invested. That's why she, you know what I'm saying? She's because I exposed the motherfucker who I was emotionally invested in like a motherfucker. So she was
Oh, you did?
mom.
You did?
But-
Yeah, I think she talking about Papa. What's his name?
Yeah, that nigga.
Yeah.
You exposed them.
But I sure the fuck did. So it's like she was emotionally invested. So
Mhm.
I think this is an instance where he should have just been honest.
Yeah.
She probably would have did it anyway.
Yeah.
I think that too. Because with his status and stuff like that, and with him being young and carefree, I honestly believe from what I've heard about her, I think she probably would have been cool with it.
Yeah, just be honest, because now she feels like her choice was taken away. That's what it seems like. Because I read bits and pieces of it. If he would have just been, she probably would have been like, okay, cool.
I think she more pissed off at the lie.
Right.
I think it's like, darn, you moving funny and you didn't even have to. So now she pissed off, like, damn, you know what I mean? You doing me like that? Oh, really?
You could have said something.
Yeah.
And then we could have
Was
figured it out.
Zion like 23, maybe?
23, yeah.
Yeah, it's let's be
With
clear.
about 190 M's in the bank.
Yeah, let's be clear. He don't know yet
They
that
gonna learn.
you can just be honest. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
just be honest.
Like he don't know yet. He ain't really got that part of the game where you can just be honest, bro. Like you ain't got
Don't
that.
know now.
Yeah, he about to learn or not, but but the problem is, first of all, these SC guys, man, they freaky.
Yo.
These SC guys, man, they freaky, bro. Like, but the problem is he need LeBron team. You know what I'm saying? Like them boys did it right, boy. Like they knew what they were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as managing, you know, a pro ball player, a pro, you know what I'm saying, pro athlete, and doing all the things the right way. Zion is a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the contract, you know, 200 M's or whatever, he a mess. Like so, those type of decisions don't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised that he made a bonehead decision of telling her some BS and then, you know, getting this one. First of all, he's young, so that's gonna be an issue. And second is, you know what I mean? Like he just don't have the proper, you know what I mean, advisement. So it's like
It's PR team. Somebody like
it's just bad.
Because
It's
a lot
bad.
of people are giving him heat too, because they're saying, okay, you're 23 years old, you have all of this money, you're a star, but you running up in these women raw. You know what I mean? Not only just women, but porn stars and
Oh
strippers.
yeah. They may be the safest these days. I don't know. Like, at least you know what I mean. Like they have shit they
at
gotta
least
do.
porn stores, they have to get tested. Like,
But they do have to get tested, don't
they
they?
have to get
They
tested.
gotta do, bro. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I don't like it's he young, man. Like these mistakes, like for real, they gonna happen, man. Like when I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I was 23, I was making some shit. 23, I was making some mistakes, bro. Like for real. And I ain't have 200 million to make them on. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't even know near no 20 M's to make it on. So
Now, on that note, now we're talking about that. Do you think, because we hear a lot about athletes and entertainers and stuff like that, do you think that women should, how can I say this? I'm gonna say it how I heard another woman say it. Do you think that women should expect certain things when it comes to entertainers and
Yeah.
athletes?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do
we
put,
agree.
unless you have a conversation, this is my thing. If we have an agreement, celebrity status, whatever, if we have a specific agreement and the terms of our agreement is you don't do this thing, it might be harder because they're celebrities to not do this thing, but we agreed that you wouldn't do this thing.
Yeah.
So if you do it anyway, then we have a problem.
You're gonna have problems.
Even with that agreement though,
You're gonna have problems.
We still gonna have a problem.
You're gonna have a problem.
do you think that you should kind of even if y'all have that talk?
Nope.
It ain't
Do
gonna
you
happen.
think in your head you still should be like, okay, the odds of him dipping out is pretty high?
I think that you should stick to your word. If we agree,
Yeah, well, don't do that, Kia.
well,
don't
that's
do
why
that.
I'm not dating a
Yeah,
celebrity.
don't do that. I promise you.
You'll set yourself up
Yeah,
for it.
you said
Well, don't
It's gonna be bad.
I don't know. My thing is, one, I don't like being don't mislead me. And then as far as sex is concerned,
yeah.
you exposing me to shit. And if I get
Yeah.
some shit, then it's gonna be some shit.
Well, he chose two women to get checked regularly.
So hey,
So he was
know.
looking out for you, Bill.
you
Shut up.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I hear what you're saying. That makes sense at a high level, but that's not the way it goes.
I know,
That's
but
not
I
how
guess
it is.
that's
Like
why-
at the end of the day, a person can say, because we're overzealous as humans, we tend to outkick the coverage. So we think we want to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? We want to be faithful. We want to hold to commitments, but we don't always do that. You know what I'm
And
saying?
ladies and gentlemen, Southside Dre is not talking about himself personally.
Nah.
He's saying in general.
Actually, I am. I'm in this. You know what? Actually, I am in this situation, right? Like because this is the same. I'm growing, bro. Like for real, I'm growing. So I'm trying to learn how to extend the grace. And I have to extend it to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to extend it to myself because we want, like most humans, we want to do the right thing, bro. Like we really do. But sometimes that thing is difficult. You know, whatever it may be, it's just difficult sometimes. So you might make, a Zion decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just goes that way. But he's young, and hopefully, the thing to me is hopefully he can bounce back and learn from this situation, because you got to think about it. How many I know for a fact, bro, like when I was in high school, bro, when I was hooping in high school, where I had, it might have been 5, it might have been 2, 3, 4, 5 different women at a basketball game that I'm involved in. I'm involved with all of them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to manipulate it, but I'm 17. I'm 16 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I got that figured out. But I had to learn, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn from that and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like it bumped my head and I'm trying to manipulate and figure out who am I gonna actually spend my time with tonight? You know what I'm saying? Who am I gonna leave and go to Applebee's with? How am I gonna figure it out? When you're young, that's the shit you on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he's 23, and here's again, I was 16 with no money. You know what I'm saying? He 23 with all the money. So it's like,
unfortunately, though, like you saying, you did that at 16 and 17, right?
Yeah.
Even though Zion is young, unfortunately, his recklessness is bringing other lives into the equation. Because now you got somebody pregnant.
Shit, I did too.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like,
but mistakes like that kind of recklessness has a lot deeper.
It's a big impact. It's a huge impact. But you got Zion ain't the first 23-year-old with a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Like, think about how many people you know that were in high school that had babies on the way. Like we all and I just happened to escape high school, but I didn't get far out of there. You know what I'm saying? Before that was my situation. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just you live and you learn, and it's according to your experiences. Like, and I, even with you, bro, like I always applaud, like, because I think you said before, like you had your mom and your dad, right, in your life to kind of give you, when you don't, man, when you the child or the son that don't, bro, you are really a clean slate of trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like you really trying to figure it out. You got your mom, and she can give you so much, but then there's trying to figure out manhood. And if you're really kind of on your own trying to do that, you're gonna make some real horrible, like you're gonna make some mistakes on the way. Most times,
because you're the quote unquote man. That's your role. You trying to figure it out as you go. I believe what made Zion the hot topic is the saliva going down the throat of the doggone.
That's freaky.
I honestly do not think, especially with what we hear and stuff with athletes and entertainers, I don't think it would have been as much of a hot topic if she wasn't so descriptive.
Yeah, so when I read it, I was like, was it like a patooey spit? Like,
yeah. What is that? What is that?
Right. Even? What kind of spit? Was it like a from the throat? Like,
damn,
he brought it from his diaphragm.
Like, what kind of spit was this? Like,
Zion is a big boy. He brought it from his diaphragm and filled her throat.
Let me be clear. I ain't even a big kisser. Like, the saliva exchangement, like I'm not even a big kisser, bro. So that
kissing, but once you start like a patooey,
I don't even know what that means, to be honest.
Like
a loogie, what they call like,
yeah. And there are women and men that love that stuff.
No.
Don't be Haku spitting in my mouth.
Hell no. We can't.
That's one reason why I'm not like, that's why I'm not. And I've always been this way. I'm not like a big, like, I don't, that's disgusting, bro. Like, like what? Like you do that, you might get shot doing that with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's that level for me. Like for real, I'm not even playing. You can't spit in my mouth, bro.
You spit in my mouth, I'm telling you, getting kicked in the like.
That's a fight, at least. At minimum, that's a fight, bro. Like I can't do this. Me and her, we wrestling now. Like
I'm pushing you in the face. Like, what are we doing? As soon as I see a little line of spit, like. No.
Hey, speaking of, man, like I don't want to throw this way off, and I don't know how far your situation goes, but like we talking about the upper level, the upper spit. If we speaking about
spit.
Rich spit, we ain't talking about poor spit.
The money making spit.
They say there's a different consistency to the spit when you got money.
It must have, what is it in Black Panther? What is the damn metal they use?
Vibranium.
It must be vibranium spit. It's like hell no. That ain't even the kind of, I don't want no spit.
The problem with this topic, to be honest with you, as I'm very particular, bro. Like I am really, hey man, I'm really funny about all that shit. Like at the end of the day, maybe I'm a germaphobe or something, but so you definitely can't spit at nothing. I don't even want you to spit out
whatever you ate. Hell no.
You can't even spit around me. You know what I'm saying? Like
drink after Joe.
I don't either.
No,
no. I won't drink after my daughter.
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Me and my mom, and that's why I think it comes from. Like my mom was like that. Like so for me, that's why I ain't even a big kisser and all that stuff. Like because that saliva thing is kind of weird.
Look at what our partner said.
That's him. That's him though. Like I'm starting to get a good read on Mark.
Right. I'm
starting to get a good read.
The rest of us think it's opposite. Mark thinks the opposite.
He's a voyeur. Mark's a voyeur. Like he's the voyeur of the group. I swear. Like he gonna do it. Like he gonna try it. Like and I'll try some shit. Like I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, Mark is the trier. He's the big trier.
In my fucking mouth.
I've tried some things in my day. Spit ain't been one of them.
No, don't spit on me either. You spit on me?
See, Zion and they saying like Zion with that, like, but them South Carolina boys, but they freaky. But
I guess he's with being the spitter. I don't know if he with
the spitter and the spitty.
Yeah, but I don't want to spit in nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to spit in nobody's mouth. Like,
can you imagine? I'm gonna spit on you now, baby.
There is some spitting that goes on. There is some spitting that actually does go on that possibly from time to time.
That's another show.
That's
I
had to think about that. I
feel you. That's definitely another show.
Perhaps.
But do you think,
Perhaps.
because speaking on the Zion thing with the whole how the woman went off on him and stuff like that. Now I've heard what I'm about to say. I've heard mainly from women. I ain't heard too many dudes say it, but I've heard a plethora of women with this whole "you're single until married" thing anyway. So should there even be any hot topic behind him getting a woman pregnant and then sleeping
That's
with
some
another?
bullshit. All that single until you married is is an excuse to fucking be on some bullshit. If you have an agreement that says we're gonna be committed to each other,
There
then
you go.
stick to the agreement. If you want to step outside of that, then that's a conversation that needs to be had, because now you just misled that other person.
I feel you completely. Mark said, I want you to answer this, Keith. Mark said everybody wants to be the spittle.
Because now basically what he's saying is he'll receive some spit. Pause.
No,
like, I don't even feel right saying it. That felt bad just saying it, bro. Like, but that's what he's saying. Like, everybody wants to be the.
No, I don't want to spit on no. If I spit on you, I have no respect for you.
Yeah, I don't want to spit, and I don't want. But I'm damn sure not receive that.
No, hell
bro,
no.
Like that. Yeah, it's an assault charge. Like, right?
No,
yeah,
listen. If I'm spitting on somebody, I'm prepared to swing immediately after. Okay, like we fighting.
I'm gonna stay out of the spit conversation because it can go somewhere else.
Tough.
I will say this though. I do not want any lugisms going in my doggone mouth.
I'm cool on
that's
all that.
where I leave that.
Yeah.
I draw the line.
But you know, thinking about something though, and it's just me, and something I can think of. I think people, man, have really overcomplicated sex and things of that nature. Like,
oh yeah.
All things sex, I think people have really overcomplicated. Like, I think, like, even when we talking about like people like Diddy or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like, they push the envelope so much because they overcomplicate things. I'm not gonna lie. Like, sex to me is it can be a very, very basic thing if done right. It don't take all of this stuff that people spitting and shit. It don't really take all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can have amazing sex and not
spit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't. And I know this personally. Ain't nobody finna dispute this with me. Like, I promise you that. Like, ain't nobody about to dispute that part with me because I'm hard. So I know when it's real or when it's questionable and when it's like it's not. But all this extra stuff that people put into it is because it really they miss the sexual connection, which is really a mostly mental connection. When you lock in with somebody and you really like them, all this other shit, all that extra stuff, it go out the window. Like, it can be very, very simple, but powerful at the same time. You know what I mean?
Unless the person loves all that extra.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a documentary. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it's called Sex Explained. Mm-hmm. And it gets into all the different, I guess I want to say aspects of people, like how they view sex, the different fetishes that people have. I think they did like a study. I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly, people watched everything from people having sex to animals having sex, and they monitored like how these people's bodies reacted, and people were turned on by fucking monkeys. That was the most people got the most. It was fucking.
Wait a minute. People were turned on from watching monkeys.
Yes, like the most reactions. Like,
I bet you them nasty niggas was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's where they go.
It's so I think it is different for everybody. Like, whatever. Like, so some people like to spit.
You know why? Because they don't. The problem, I think, and this is just me, the problem I think that exists there is the fact that people really don't understand. Once you get into like, man, there's levels to this shit. Like, once you get into a certain connection with a person, it goes so far that, man, that stuff don't even mean nothing. Like, I ain't going on no porn site looking for no monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I need that quick fix or whatever it may be, you ain't ever, you never finna find that. So it's like, but people make it too complicated. It's not as complicated as people think. If you lock in people, because people want to have, just sex with different people and for different reasons, and it don't really matter. But if you really like a person for real and you connect with a person in a certain level, like, I promise you, it's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need all that extra stuff, and you gonna be where you want to be. It ain't gonna be no better than that. You're gonna be looking at it like, this is top billing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how it worked for me. I don't know about nobody else, man, but
I agree. I mean, it has to start with, the best sex, the best conversation, the best anything comes when you can make that connection with somebody before you even get physical.
Yeah, I think when there's no mental connection, then it's kind of like you're not really focusing on, like, to me, sex should be, of course, you get your own satisfaction out of it, right? But at the same time, to me, you should be like, it's about that. You should get some kind of pleasure in pleasing that other person.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think a lot of people have sex for themselves versus like having this connection with this person and really caring about, like, making sure they get they orgasms. A lot of times people are like, as long as I get my nut, then.
And that's why you have so many people that aren't satisfied and don't know anything about satisfaction.
Or they don't know how to satisfy them. They're just, or when you get some, like, I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, just talking about like men and women in general, and not knowing, like, not even knowing our own bodies, and dealing with people who don't, like, genuinely care for you, and you think just because this person is willing to have sex with you, they care about you. They don't care about you. They just trying to get a nut.
Yep.
That's it. So if you're not walking into that situation with the same mentality, you setting yourself up to get hurt. Because you thinking this person cares. They don't. They want to fuck something. And if it ain't you, it's gonna be somebody else.
That's facts.
Yeah, and we got there. We spinning off of Zion, but we spinning off of Zion and spitting. But at the same time, like, if you really look at it, at the same time, it's like the sexual experience, like, for each individual, it can be different. And I can see how people really, really, fixate on certain physical attributes of sex. But man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, when you locked in, it ain't no better feeling. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. Like, for me, like, if you locked in, it's like, I don't want to waste my time. This is me. I don't waste my time on no regular. Like, if that's what it is, it ain't worth my time.
Right.
So we gotta have something. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have something. Even the conversation need to be lit for me at this point. Now, when I was, 10 years ago, maybe 5, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe that wasn't important. But now it's like, at this point, it's like, man, shit, I know now. We gotta lock in. Like, otherwise, I'm not wasting my time.
Right?
I don't waste my time with that. You know what I mean? Like, I said on one of my last podcasts, I said, man, I'm at a space now to where I don't locked in to where, most I can see a woman at a grocery store or out or whatever, and she can be fine as shit. Like, she can have everything. But when I get past that first layer of physical, if I can't see my body touching hers, it's a wrap. It's dead. Like, and that's gonna be funny. Like, cause might be like, damn, I don't even see me. Like, I wouldn't even feel comfortable our skin touching. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, if you read that type of energy on a person, it's like, damn, that ain't even worth it. Now, for me, it's not even worth that. So I gotta feel comfortable in that way, which means we gotta connect in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta have good conversation, talk, and have a good time together. So now that experience is like the icing on the cake. So I don't know about the spitting shit though. You can't. That ain't gonna work for me. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that's one of those things that work for some and not for most.
Right. We're not compatible if you want to spit in my mouth.
That's French to me.
Yeah, that works for some and not for
most. Go somewhere else to spit.
Yeah. But the last hot topic of the evening is far from spitting and all that other stuff. It's about your boy Ron DeSantis. I think that's how you pronounce him. I think he's the governor of Florida or something like that. Yeah. He's running for the presidency.
Yeah.
Now, he said that when he's president, he's shutting down the border. He said Trump talked about it, but he claims he's going to make it happen. And I think Florida transported some immigrants from, where was it? Texas to Sacramento or something like that. And he said he has no sympathy for states or places that don't, want them or whatever. Now, what do you guys feel about the whole border thing? Do you think that it should be shut down? Do you think we should keep it like it was, where people can come here and live the quote unquote American dream? They can build lives for themselves. What do you guys think about that?
He did it. America's full of immigrants. The only people who aren't immigrants are Native Americans.
That's it.
Yeah. Even the backstory to that story, I think that, and I just saw this on, I think I saw this on maybe a TikTok or something, and somebody was speaking on him and how, the system is working in Florida. So it's like they shut down everything in Florida and they can't get enough people to work the farms or whatever.
Yeah.
So her hypothesis was, eventually what Florida's going to go to is the prison system. So we're going to take the prisoners and take them out to work the farms for free labor. And we all
slavery.
We know what the fuck free labor. We know what free labor is. It's like at the end of the day. So basically, her TikTok was basically saying, "Hey, this is what's probable to happen in Florida. So imagine this guy as president. You know what I mean? So across all of the states, he's probably thinking from the space, like at the end of the day, like we can use the prison system as free labor. And now you kind of, you cultivate all of the shortages when it comes to cultivating the land and things of that nature, farming the land and things. So it's like, I don't know, bro. Like
but you know what though? And I thought about it from this standpoint too. Because when it comes to politicians, you never really totally know what they actually go for or not. Even though he's talking junk about Trump, I look at it like, what if he's saying this because he saw that Trump said it and the amount of people that got behind him from saying it and he ended up winning the presidency? What if he's trying to take on that same thing? Well, it worked for Trump, so let me see if it works for me too.
He's pandering.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody sitting down no damn borders.
Yeah,
nothing's real. Nothing's real, bro. Nothing's real anymore. And
politicians lie all the time.
Yeah, that's the difficulty that we face, man.
Trying to get them votes.
In this time of social media and things of that nature, man. And I hate this, like even for people like me, you, Kia, like nothing's real anymore. It's not, nothing's real. So the real and real will come back. It'll make a comeback. But right now we're not
slowly
living.
But surely. Slowly,
we're not living in it currently.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the you know what I mean. We living with it's shock value. Is like how many videos do we see of shit that ain't even real? You know what I mean?
People believe it.
Yeah,
people
believe
that's
it.
Crazy.
And that's big.
It's some obvious shit that's not
very obvious.
Like, you believe this?
Yeah, very obvious. These folks arguing and acting like it's an issue, and they just acting like it's a video. It's done for views and likes and things of that nature. And how much of that do we look at? And it's like we know it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like we can identify quickly. Like, oh no, they playing because they playing the game, and that's what we in. Santos is playing the game at the end of the day. Like, and most politicians play the game. That's what they do.
All these promises, but I mean, and even as the president, you only have but so much power.
That's right.
Labor from prisons. I don't believe he can. That's up to the governor of the state. Like I believe, depending on where the prison is, unless it's a federal prison, and I don't even know. Like I don't have enough education, I guess, in that area to know that he could even do that with federal prisoners. So
yeah, I mean, he ain't got to because most if we talking about the southern states, they with that shit.
That's
you darn right. Yeah,
they with that. They with that. They gonna move on. Like if they can get some free labor and figure out, like if they got leadership from that level. You know what I mean? From the presidential level, and they can say, well, shit, we can move like this. You think South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Texas, all these places, you know what I mean, ain't gonna move on. They gonna move on that.
That's crazy. Like
they'll move on
listen, we can't vote for him. Like people, whoever
Hey,
watching.
but Dr. Cornel West is running. Like,
I know, I heard. Yeah, I know.
you know what I mean?
I love it. If nothing else, I'm gonna love to see the debates.
Yeah.
Hey, because that brother's like he's a genius in his own right. Like he's a genius. So it's like, yeah. Now the problem is he ain't gonna win. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
It'll be a good show.
It's gonna be a damn good show.
Great show.
And I think sometimes that's really the point. He's gonna educate us. That if nothing else, he's gonna educate us on what we
gems. He's gonna be dropping some gems.
He gonna work us out. Like at the end of the day, and pause. But he's gonna work us out at the end of the day. Like, that's what's gonna come of Dr. Cornel West. But hey, man, this whole Santos and border stuff. I mean, let's be clear. Like, it's weird because when you think about it, America, like, really, America profited off of some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like some of this cheap labor and people just willing to do things, you know what I mean, for very, very low wages. That was profitable. So I don't know what the game is.
I think it's just some racist bullshit, and he's pandering to his audience.
Actually, I don't know what the game is, man. I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I dip my toe in politics at this point, but it's such a game that I'll be like, I don't know what they got.
The waters are so muddy, man. I just try to have a little bit of knowledge on every single thing, only because the spaces that we're in, we get asked questions and we get put in these conversations, and I never want to be in a space where I'm looking like a deer in headlights and don't know anything about what's being talked about. So even though I can sniff out the BS, I still like, okay, well, I'll do a little research on A, B, and C, so at least I can be in the conversation when it comes up. Because a lot of times what you don't know will give people an open door to try to treat you any kind of doggone way. But on that note, we've had another great episode of King Shed Talk. The panel will be back next month. I can't remember the date right now, but it'll definitely be next month. We're going to have the same panel here every month discussing hot topics. Mark had to leave a little early, but he left an impression while he was here. I thank Southside Dre and Kia D again for coming on and giving your expertise and being the real people that you are. And I'll be back next Thursday at 8:00 with another topic, and I can guarantee you it will have nothing to do with spit.
Hey, before you sign off, I do want to make sure that we get this in, because I know this. I know you and your platform is on, you know what I mean, like on Facebook and things of that nature. We share a lot of the same, you know what I mean, like connections. So we are having an event on June 24th, I believe, if that's a Saturday. June 24th for More Life, and it's a men's health summit. To where we really want to educate folks on like Black men's health and things of that nature. We just had some situations with Jamie Foxx, and we've had more previous to that, to where there's some things going on, man, that we really want to look into, whether it be mental or physical, you know what I mean, health related issues with black men. And we want our Black women to come out and participate as well. But we really want to look into, you know, what may be going on and ways that we can combat, you know, how to, you know, treat or deal with, you know, Black men. So health issues. So we're doing that June 24th at it's going to be from 11 to 2 in Greenville, South Carolina, upstate. So we're going to post the flyers and things of that nature, you know what I mean, at Circle of Friends. I think it's at Circle of Friends on June 24th, 11 to 2. And we're gonna post some flyers and things of that nature of what the event's about. So I just wanted to plug that in.
Hey,
you know
brother.
I mean?
Hey, definitely, because that's definitely an important topic. We definitely need to care more about our health so we can be here a lot longer and we can impact a lot better. Because you're right, we don't, as a community, we haven't in the past taken care of ourselves the proper way.
Make sure you send me the flyer too, and I'll share it.
Absolutely.
Well.
The flyer be out before next week, so it'll be out this weekend. So it's More Life. Like I say, it's at the Circle of Friends, and I think it's Ridgeway Drive in Greenville, South Carolina. So you can look that up. But it's a health summit for Black men, and we're gonna discuss mental health, emotional fitness, emotional health, as well as physical health. Dietitians and nutritionists will be on site. We'll have vendors, with healthy things in nature, as far as individuals. And I spoke on something earlier about how each DNA is different, and we'll speak on more of that at this event. So yeah.
Now let me ask you this too, Dre. Is it an event where people can bring their kids to so they can be educated?
Absolutely, and it's a free event. Like, you don't have to pay anything. You just come and get the education. It's gonna be, and I don't have the actual the guest Jemiah Battle will be there. There are quite a few different individuals that'll be there, but it's gonna be a great event about just men's health. You know what I mean? Like, you got the colon and the prostate and things of that nature with men. And the one thing that I focus on is, although women, diet is a huge thing in men's health, and women control a lot of the diet. So that's why I want women to really come out, because these are things that we're going to educate on. Like, this is what Black men in general can eat and flourish in. And these are things that we might not be able to. We want everybody to come out so we can learn together about, what's going on with us, so we can have more life.
Most definitely. And I'll definitely be in touch with you too, because any way that I can assist or whatnot, or even come and get some of that information myself. Thanks. We definitely need to, like we were talking about earlier, we definitely need to support one another.
Oh yeah,
because it's for the edification and building up of one another. Thanks. And that's very needed. But you got anything, Kia, before we get out of here?
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
The cat is slow. His name is.
Oh, you got cat.
Mark. Shit. No. This is Mark, everybody.
Oh, he's still with us in spirit, in cat.
Yeah, in cat spirit. And too, if there's anybody, any veterans or anything that need
help with their disability. Yeah. If there's anyone who needs help with just some guidance as far as getting like a higher disability rating, you all can you can find me on Facebook, send a message and let me know what it's for, Kia D, or shoot me an email at amari8402@gmail.com, AMARI 8402@gmail.com, and just kind of leave, just make sure I know what it is, because if it's just some random anything, I'm gonna ignore it. So for anyone who needs help or has a friend or a brother or a father who needs some assistance with getting that higher rating, hit me up and I can walk you through it. It's not as hard as some people think it may be. It's pretty easy. You could get it done. I think it took my sister, I think about 6 months to get her. I think she went from 0 to 100%. For me, I went from 10% to 100%. And I mean, you just have to use the right verbiage, and you get a lot of different benefits from that, depending on the state too. You get different benefits where you get handicapped. I told you, I'll park in the front. I get front row seats wherever I go. All the discounts you get, the medical benefits, you don't pay property taxes in some states. You don't have to put down payments on a house. That's a lot of different benefits. And
this is for military?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get a lot of different. You earned it. I don't care.
Yeah.
You were in the military. I think VA's definition of a veteran, I want to say it's 180 days. I'll look it up. But if you served for 180 days and you have an honorable discharge, it can't be a dishonorable discharge. Right. Then you are a veteran. That means active duty. So even if you're a reservist and you got mobilized for those 180, that's considered active duty. You are a veteran. And if you got hurt within that time frame, if something happened to you, you are entitled to some kind of benefit. So if anybody, it's not as hard as a lot of people. I notice, I don't want anybody to think I have an issue. Get your money. Who cares what other people think? Get your money. You earned it. You got hurt. If you got deployed, you have PTSD. if you're a police, if you were MP, you've seen a lot of things. If you were I have a friend who was an X-ray tech. They don't just X-ray people who are alive. They X-ray dead bodies. Like you have some form of PTSD. So anybody who is in need of assistance, hit me up.
That's what's up. All right, y'all.
And also those benefits transfer to your kids. That's another benefit.
Yep.
College. My daughter will be at like in 10, 11 years, but those benefits are transferable to your children. So take advantage.
Utilize those resources, people. Utilize the resources. And on that note, I want to thank everybody that tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Wisdom App. I truly appreciate you. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is King Shed Productions. Y'all already know what I'm about, you know, bridging the gap between men and women, educating, uplifting, and motivating. We're trying to help men understand women better and women understand men better for the benefit of our youth and creating a better world for them and ourselves. Thank you guys tremendously. See you again next week. And I will say again, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Wisdom Appers, for listening in to the conversation. I know the past couple of weeks you guys couldn't hear anything, but I wanted to have you at least hear the guest as well, so you can see what I'm trying to do with growing this YouTube channel. So please, all 62 of you that are in here listening, go like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll be back next Thursday.